Jamie.
Yeah, don't worry,
like,
Jamie.
hey,
We'll
drop him.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. We need a Canadian made mashup, which will be you. All right. What else? That's it. Let's play this. Here we go.
The show's over.
The show's over. Good night, everybody. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Could she really be here, waiting for me?
Hello and welcome back to Core. This is Core, where we talk about video games, ranging from big movements on the top all the way down to the things we're playing. I'm Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz and John Jagger, and this is episode 337. How are you guys doing? You guys all right?
Chilling? I'm just chilling.
Fine.
Should the room's starting to
How are
sway a
you
little.
doing?
I should probably tell the world, so I told the pre-show, but I'll tell you guys. I took a muscle relaxant for a bad back before the show. That may have been a mistake, because I'm feeling really out of it. But you know what?
Is it really a mistake to party? Come on now.
Well, that's just that's the attitude I need to have, right? I need to look at this as like, yeah, man, this is going to be a good time. You two can anchor me in case I go astray. Yeah. It'll be fine.
What I love is that you are the captain of this show.
I mean, I think the captain will get fired if he takes illicit material. These are prescribed by a doctor. These aren't like, I didn't go wrestle through the neighbor's freaking opioid pockets or anything.
That's why you want stalwart crew, loyal crew, right?
That's right.
Like what happens out on the high seas, the people back on land don't understand.
All right. Well, if one of you has to take over mid-show, I dare you to look in the camera and say, look at me, I'm the captain now. Do that.
Just thinking that. I was going to say, if we needed to take over, we will just say, look at me, I'm the captain now.
It's one of those movies I have not seen Captain Phillips, but I know the reference. It's impossible not.
I say it a stupid amount of times for the fact that I've never seen the movie.
Yeah. So anyway, what are you going to do?
Is that the Tom Hanks joint?
Yes.
I don't know the reference.
Thomas Hanks. He's in that. It's a real story based on true events where Captain Phillips' ship was taken over by a bunch of pirates from somewhere, Haiti or somewhere.
It was Nigeria, I think. I know what you're talking. Yeah, Nigeria.
Yeah, and there's a great moment where a dude looks at Tom Hanks and says, look at me, I'm the captain now. So that's just the thing you hear now. You just hear it all the time. You know what else you hear about? Stuff going on in the game business. Let's find out what that is. Yep, that sound means it's time to talk about that. So for some reason, Konami's been sitting on Silent Hill for like 20 years doing nothing with it. And then they decided one day in October of 2022 to just shit the entire thing out at once. I don't know why, but that's what they did. As John wrote in here, 0 to 60 on Silent Hill. I agree. They went kind of bonkers. Let's talk about what they showed and whether we care or not. One of us, John in particular, is a huge Resident Evil fan. You played them all and would play them again probably if asked.
I probably will.
Yep.
I'll play through all of Resident Evil 2 Remake, not even just 50% like you.
Yeah. I said yeah, but I don't actually agree. I take back my yeah.
What is Dead May Never Die?
Yeah, that's right. I played until those credits ran. That's an end. Anyway, so back to reality. This isn't that, obviously. It's not a Resident Evil or Capcom event. This is Konami deciding that they know best when it comes to presser events. And they decided to have a 42-minute event about what they're going to be doing with upcoming games. And I said games with an S. That's right. We'll talk about that in a second. For Silent Hill. And then they squeezed the cool bits, like trailers, in the middle of some of the worst, most boring presentation I've ever seen in my entire life. So I just want to get that out of the way. I think Konami doesn't know how to do this. They've been too much time in the pachinko parlors, making big pachinko money, telling what's his name to take off, no more Metal Gear Solid games. We're going to just focus on pachinko and health centers or whatever it is in Japan. Now all that stuff's kind of not panning out. Pandemic kind of wrecked both of them a little bit for them, so they're back to their IPs, and they don't know how to present. All right? They don't know how. I'm excited about these games, but the way they presented it was terrible. It was awful. It was just bad. It was bad. They thought they knew what they were doing. They didn't. It was bad. So take that for what you will.
I guess they were copying Zuckerberg. I didn't watch it, but
kind of, yeah.
They're not the only ones to do a bad presentation recently.
It was like a bad
Silent Hill has legs.
It just was too much. They could have done so much more. This is one of those, this meeting could have been a phone call kind of things. It just could have been trailers and some brief.
Well, that's why I didn't watch it, because the way you linked it, you're like, oh, it's new Silent Hill. And I'm like, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't realize it was a direct.
Yeah,
Basically.
it's basically a direct. Yeah. Well, direct for all of the Silent Hill games, and you're thinking to yourselves, wait a minute, what? We've gone this long? We've droughted ourselves from the Silent Hill series, and now suddenly what? We get, okay, here's what we get. A complete remake of Silent Hill 2, and they ran a trailer for this. That looks good. I can't tell. I think that's in-game stuff, some of it anyway, best I can tell. But that looked all right and sounded good, and had what you want. You got the weird pyramid head dude in it, and scary guy McGillicuddy.
Like pyramid head, eh?
Yeah, he freaks me out. Him and the nurses, I don't like any of that. They scare the bejesus out of me. A little bit of history real quick. Silent Hill still stands as the game that I think ruined me for horror games, that made it all harder from then on. Because prior to this, I could play Resident Evil and not freak out. I could play other games. What was the scissor ones with the girl and the scissors?
Clock Tower?
Clock Tower. Another scary game, but I could do those. Along comes Silent Hill for the PlayStation 1, and I got so scared playing it, I threw the controller down, threw the disc on the carpet, left the lights on, got in bed, told Kim to take care of the dogs. Like, I couldn't do it. I freaking couldn't do it. It was so bad.
Take care of the dogs. I'm too scared.
Yeah, I really was. I said, I can't do this. It's so bad. I couldn't turn off any lights. I'm like, oh, the whole house is on. You're going to have to go turn all that off before we go to bed. That's, I think, what did it. So now when I play a scary game, it's just horrifying and awful, and it's that game's fault. So in a way, I respect it, because it's like, Silent Hill, you bastard, you're back. You're going to get back into my life somehow, because you know what'll happen. Someone will buy it and say, well, now you have to play it, Scott, and then John will be there with me, and it'll be a night. It'll be terrible. But anyway, we just haven't had anything, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're remaking Silent Hill 2 with the Bloober team.
Yeah, the Bloober team.
Yep. You know them from such hits as... Hold on.
You actually really like a game of theirs.
I know. I can't remember what it is, though. Off the top of my head.
It's called... I always mix it up with another one.
Observer.
Yeah.
That game is cool. Yeah.
The Rutger Hauer joint.
Yeah, he put in a horrible performance and was old when he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did not put in a Tears in the Rain performance.
Absolutely. Well, the game itself was quite cool. I liked it a lot. It was scary, though. But they were known for Layers of Fear, Observer, Blair Witch. They did a Blair Witch adaptation, and The Medium, which came out in 2021. It was a early Game Pass game, actually, for the new consoles. Anyway, they're doing it. I think they're actually suited for this, so...
Yeah, they've got good chops. I think Layers of Fear is actually very good.
Yeah.
And Silent Hill 2 avoids some of the issues I have with Silent Hill as a property. So I'm excited to get, I'm excited to play. It's been a long time since I played Silent Hill 2. I probably played it, around the time it came out, and then haven't touched it since. So it'll be fun to get back to it. But I can't help but feel, and this is kind of my broad feeling on Konami suddenly coming out with a bunch of Silent Hill stuff. So I am very hesitant about all of this. And the analogy that I've been using is this. When we played PT and the whole thing was revealed to be Silent Hills, big Kojima thing, and then that got canceled, and then Konami was like, we're not making video games anymore. We're done.
Yeah. Get out of here, whole teams. Like, they fired a lot of people.
Yeah. I feel like that almost was akin to a breakup. It's like, we're done. We're not together anymore. It's over. And this announcement, I would say, in that same analogy, is akin to then getting a text from the person who broke up with you going, what you doing?
You want to hook up?
And it's like, well, wait a minute. Hold on. Why are you talking to me? We had a nasty breakup. We're mad at each other. We're not on speaking terms. Why do you want to know what I'm doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What's your goal here? And that doesn't mean that if these games come out and they get awesome reviews and, they seem great, I'm not going to play them. It's not a moral stance. But there's definitely this weird hesitation of like, no, wait a minute. You showed us something really cool and then canceled it. And then even said it. You even went so far as to where if I try to download PT because I deleted it from my PlayStation, you won't let me.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for that. Like, forget the fact, okay, Kojima's gone. You're not going to ever be able to make the Silent Hills game we thought we wanted.
Right.
You're not even gonna let me download the stupid demo, which was genuinely good and scary, and I think that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So I do have a bit of hesitation when it comes to Konami jumping back in the pool and being like, "Sup, gamers, let's get back to work."
Yeah, it feels like that a little bit. The funny thing about PT, which I always love this about the internet and the world and gamers, they figure out a way. Life finds a way. So somebody remade that in Unreal Engine, like frame for frame. It looks the same.
Yeah.
I think even the source code's out there somewhere because someone got it somehow. They're not supposed to have it. Super secret-y stuff going on.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like how Ryan Reynolds didn't leak the Deadpool concept that Cut sent out.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure
it happens.
him.
It happens. Never trust him. Just kidding. He's fine. He's a good guy. Best I can tell. Also very handsome. Anyway, shut up, Pill. Let's move on. Here's what else? Okay, so Silent Hill 2, right? They ran the trailer. Yeah. There you go. Number 2. Oh, Bo, any thoughts to this point? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I haven't watched. I don't have anything to contribute.
Okay, just want to make sure if you got
Konami business,
and you're not really into horror games anyway, right? Not really your thing.
No,
okay.
No. I mean, if it's good, I like Dead Space. I'll be playing that.
Oh yeah, Dead Space. Yeah.
I don't like current day horror games.
Yeah,
very limited interest wise.
Did the Resident Evils ever do anything for you?
I mean, they used to, but there's lots of games, not very interesting.
Well, the good news is
go to a cottage or some castle and just translate. Like, it's just not for me.
Sure. No, I get it. Soma and the Amnesia games all showed up on Game Pass this week. The answer is no. Okay, no. I already did Soma. I did that on camera.
I was gonna say, didn't you already play some of these?
I did Soma, but I have not done Amnesia because I saw some video of someone else doing Amnesia, and that's a whole nother level of I don't ever want to do that. That looked really, really, really freaky. Like I don't think I can do it. Somebody'd have to really convince me with, I don't know, cash. He'd have to give me cash, I think. Anyway, let's move on.
The closest Scott gets to panhandling is like to scare him. He's just like, "Hey, you want to see me scared? I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Maybe I'll do an OnlyFans. I'll do an OnlyFans that is just me playing horror games, but for big OnlyFans money. So I'll be surrounded. Like if you see me as an infographic, I'm the little dopey guy in the middle doing his stupid videos about scary video games, and then thousands of naked people all around me.
Yeah,
because that's all you'd have on there except for me doing that. I assume somebody else does something on OnlyFans that isn't porn or sex work. I'm sure
there's a lot of people because that's my first thought is like, it'd be really funny to do one, but like, what would I put up there?
Yeah, I almost did cameos. We should do cameos. The core hosts do cameos. The cameo thing?
Should.
Yeah, I know what cameos are.
Yeah. I almost signed up once for laughs, but I didn't do it.
I'm sure you'd get some. I don't think we'd probably get a few pity ones.
Oh, are you kidding, dude? Somebody having you go, let's see.
Captain, we're under attack!
On in live to them, and instead of Captain, it's William Johnson of Ohio.
It's very flattering, but I feel like part of the deal with Cameo is it's like, you'll never believe what I got. I got this celebrity to make it. Everyone's like, who is this 40-year-old guy? Like, you have some recognition. I don't think John or I have it on the same levels.
Well, but, I know you guys
still make an account, I guess.
Within the Couch Horror community, people lavish you both with praise. So I think maybe
they do, and they're generous and wonderful.
Yeah, and now it'll just grow from there.
I mean, I'm not against it. I think about. I just try to be realistic and not inflate my. If I go in expecting to make $5,000 from hundreds of requests, that's not going to be a thing. Maybe I'll get a couple. So
no, you go in with the expectation to have to go like, "Captain, give Toby a birthday snack," and then like, "Happy birthday from Core." Like, you do one or two of those.
Why Toby? Yeah. What's Toby? Why is that the name?
He's who's getting the cameo. It's Toby's birthday.
It's Toby's birthday.
Yeah. Okay. My mother is a big fan of your show. It's her birthday. I want to get her something nice.
Yeah.
Her name is
Grandma. It's time for a birthday cake
or something like that. I don't know.
All right. Now I want us to do this. Now it's a mandate. Anyway, moving on. I want this. If I ever paid for a cameo, though, here's what I'd want. I want the voice actor that did this. I want that guy. Do you think he's around somewhere?
Now there's the cameo. You just get that, and then at the end he just goes, "Yeah, have a happy birthday."
Yeah. Yes. You gotta have all the echo and stuff though. It's not as cool without it. Otherwise, it just sounds stupid. But that's from Sekiro. Only monkeys die twice, or whatever that's called. All right, moving on. Where are we?
Silent Hill.
New sequel to Silent Hill movie. Return to Silent Hill, they're going to call it. It's based on the Silent Hill 2 game. And a lot of people like that original Silent Hill film treatment. And it's the same director. So if you're those people and you already liked what he did there,
We're doing it again.
more of that. I've actually heard good things, but I've always been afraid to watch it.
I watched the first one. I don't think I watched the second one.
Oh, was there two of
first
these?
one
I
was-
only thought there was one. Okay.
The first one's pretty good.
Mhm.
I mean, the real thing about Silent Hill, we're gonna get into some nitty gritty picking here.
Yeah.
Silent Hill is a cool concept because the whole idea is that the town is a reflection of your inner turmoil
Mhm.
and like should be.
Yeah.
The problem is Silent Hill got very popular for certain key things very early on, and then those got locked in and expected to be a part of it. So like Pyramid Head was supposed to be just an enemy for Silent Hill 2 because
Yeah.
it fits the main character and what he's brought to the town.
Yeah.
But then everybody loves Pyramid Head. So now Pyramid Head has to be in the movie, and Pyramid has to be in 3, and Pyramid has to be in all of these.
Yeah.
And it doesn't actually make any sense because now they've filled out, like popular characters. Same with the nurses. Like, oh, it's all about sexy nurses in Silent Hill. Well, it's not supposed to be. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be a reflection of the person that's like in the town
Right.
and what they occupy it with.
Right.
And I think that it's unfortunate. I think that concept is more interesting than, well, here's your obligatory nurses, here's your obligatory Pyramid Head.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. It's fine. It's fine what it has become, but I do get a little sour that they didn't stick with the original concept because it's cool. Although one of the things, Silent Hill F, looks like it is kind of doing that because it looks so different than everything else.
That is true. Let's talk about that one next. So they're making 3 games in addition to this remake, this ground floor to top remake of Silent Hill 2. They're making a game called Silent Hill F that John just mentioned. It is set in 1960s Japan and is a narrative-driven spin-off is the way it's being described. I don't know what that means. Lots of dialogue. I don't know. But I don't know. That looks interesting. The art style on it looks pretty rad. I don't know how I feel about that one. How do you feel about that one? Do you think that
Hard to
looks good?
say what it's going to end up being, but apparently the writer has some genuinely, like some really good chops, is well known for it. And then, like I said, it seems like something different. It's not just here's super foggy town with Pyramid Head and sex nurses. Like,
Man, your back of the box description is epic. That's really a strong one.
yeah, come to Silent Hill. We got Pyramid Heads and sex nurses.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Yeah, and it's definitely got more of a Japanese bent to it, which visually anyway, and it's set in Japan, so you can't really take the Japan out of it. I really like the idea of whatever this is going to be. So more of that. They're also working on one called Townfall. Silent Hill Townfall. It's a new spin-off developed by No Code Studios. Again, narrative-driven, unknown otherwise. We don't know jack about it other than they show like a little teasery image, and that's it. So there's another game. Then we got one more called Silent Hill Ascension, and this has interesting potential. Maybe. It's a little gimmicky, so probably ain't going to work the way people hope. But here's the way it was described on IGN today. Potentially the most unique announcement from the transmission today, which is what they called this, by the way, the transmission. Because the little radio, and it's,
Oh, I get it. Yeah, because of the radio.
It's annoying. In fact, I sent you guys we're going to play these people. It's basically a podcast that covers all things Silent Hill. My favorite part of the whole thing is when they're standing completely still with their hands in front of them and they say,
Welcome to Silent Hill Transmission, the show that keeps you informed about Silent Hill.
it's so good, man. Just
Yep. Nothing makes me feel more like we're in the world of Silent Hill than welcome to Silent Hill Transmission while an upbeat guitar plays in the background.
yeah, right? Absolutely. It's real weird, but anyway, what was my point after that? This thing's really kicking in. Ascension. So here's the deal. they announced this thing will be an immersive project where participants around the world will control the characters in a new Silent Hill story. Basically, a Let's Play Pokemon version of the new Silent Hill story that will be live in 5 multiple platforms. Silent Hill Ascension is a collaboration between Genvid Entertainment, Bad Robot Games, Behavioral Interactive, and DJ2 Entertainment. I don't know why any of that matters. But it sounds like it's like a, I don't know, like crowd-sourced adventure or something?
I don't know. As soon as you start telling me who all is working on a thing, like, and how it's gonna transcend gaming, I unplug.
Yeah.
This very rarely does it ever work.
And when it does, you'll be there for it when it happens, right?
Yeah, I'll know it when I see it.
You'll know
Yeah.
when you see it, and or if it's all bullshit that's being shoved down your throat. I get it. I kind of respect that. Oh, geez, Bo's hair is awesome right now. What happened? Oh, there we go. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just taking it out.
Also, I'm gonna say this, and maybe this is the biggest testament. This is gonna make Silent Hill fans angry. I'm sorry, Silent Hill fans.
Uh-oh.
You've been through enough.
What he's about to say is to turn the whole world all rusty and gross and wet instead of the nice, clean version of the world that we have now. John's about to flip
two
it.
things. Yeah, there's 2 things. One, this is a lot of announcements. None of them is PT or Silent Hills for that matter. Not that I'm still sour about it, but you know. But the biggest thing is like, honestly, Scott, and this is, I'm sorry, Silent Hill fans. Bo linked the trailer to the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah, breaking
while
news.
we were talking about Silent Hill.
Really?
As of an hour
And
ago.
it immediately made me stop caring about any of this 100%, and I've just been watching that this whole time.
Okay, I hadn't seen this. So this is
Yeah,
Resident
I
Evil.
posted a Discord. It's as fresh as 30 minutes to an hour ago.
Okay, so this is a remake, right?
yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna watch it live on the show with the listeners, and I'm going to pause the YouTube because they'll get mad when I repost this stuff. So, all right. So here we go, live, folks. You can watch this in the show. Obviously, at home you can hear this. Let's play the trailer. The world premiere. This just dropped, everybody. Boy, what a thing to do on a day that you had your big competition doing their thing. Anyway, here we go. Say world premiere. Oh, there we go. Gotta unmute it. Get a little audio here.
I like Resident Evil 4 so much, you guys. I'm so excited for this.
I mean, I played Resident Evil 4. It's a good one. Like,
It's great. It's one of the best. I played it on the.
I don't think I'll play this, but I'm still curious to see what it'll look like.
Yeah. All right. So we got it. We got your dude, Leon S. Kennedy. I guess that is.
Yep. Now working for
You're
the
here looking
president.
for someone?
So this is a complete remake, right? They're starting over.
Maybe. Some missing señorita?
Oh my gosh, this is
Ashley.
redone.
Where are you?
This looks so much better, dude. Okay.
Your soul requires cleansing.
Yeah. That's what you do. Oh.
Ashley Grimm, are you in here?
Yeah.
Just let me go.
Listen,
Anime girl.
You're gonna get clobbered, Leon.
Yep. Look out, buddy.
What is that?
That's Zambies.
We do.
It's a house.
our slabs are escaping.
We need to go.
Guy from Diablo 4.
I'm gonna get you home safe.
You can stop right there.
Ada.
Some good That's some great
That line
acting.
was
What are you
weird.
doing here?
Yeah.
You can stop right there.
Show her.
That was a weird read.
Ashley, run!
The entire world shall overflow with his grace.
What's happening to me?
Oh no, there's blood.
Now, abandon your body.
Leaves a girl. She's lost no matter what.
She sucks. Who's doing her voice? She's bad.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Leon, I've seen you like this before, bud. Resident Evil 4 Remake. From the ground up. Okay. Well, anyway, that's your trailer. Is that exciting to you, John? It's all good?
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
very excited.
This is so it really did have the effect of like sort of erasing all this stuff. Like you don't
Yeah,
care.
I just stopped caring. I was like, to be clear, I am still interested in Silent Hill 2. I know that one's a classic. And we'll see about all the other
Yeah, they may
stuff.
not release at the same time, and you'll have time for all of it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's no rule that says you only get to pick one.
No,
as much as society wants you to believe that you can play
felt
both
like
games.
It was
or
such
none
a
of them.
scoop. I didn't want us to miss it.
No, I'm glad you got it. That's awesome.
But literally, my excitement was 100% just redirected, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" Because this is the continuation of they're kind of like these remake games are kind of become their own series in and of themselves,
and they're incredibly done. Like they're not crap. They're good, really good. I love this. That's what they're going to do here. They are, even though obviously 4 being a 3D first person or third person, fully 3D realized game without tank controls, all those changes that happen, that exists. But I feel like these fresher takes just take everything we know and have learned in tech and stuff, all the things that have changed, and just make these better, not worse, or more playable. I love it. They
do need to do this same treatment with Code Veronica, though. I feel like Code Veronica is like the forgotten.
I love that game.
Like, there's some really cool stuff in there. There's some bad stuff. I mean, you want to talk about bad voice acting, as much as we're making fun of Ada in this trailer for being a little rough. Don't ever forget Steve from Code Veronica and "What are you doing?"
Yeah, Steve was
like
bad.
That guy was a real problem.
Forgot about him.
But we should get a remake of that. That game deserves a remake.
I would absolutely play a Code Veronica remake. I loved the first game. I played it on my Dreamcast. I think it was a launch game. I bought it with my Dreamcast. And if they could do this treatment to it, I'd be all in. That'd be great. And you know what? They've proven themselves. Like, this is now a known quantity. But Capcom doesn't half-ass these remakes, which really surprised me. Honestly, like when I played 2, I guess 2 was the first remake I played, and you were there. That was mind-blowingly cool, how they took what used to be this kind of ugly, half top-down, terrible camera tank control thing we were all okay with in 1997, but tastes have changed, and they somehow made that all work, even though I was terrified half the time. It's pretty great. That second disc, who even knows what I missed on there? Probably a lot of
who knows?
Probably the same missions, with the same, just with a lady.
It's different. Yeah,
no, we do. It's
different.
Entirely different.
Yeah, because it has a lady.
Played it.
Yeah,
it's 100% different.
Yeah.
At this point, I know you're not going to play it, so I can just outright lie to you. It is 100% different.
Well, I already know from back in the day even that was true. But there were some differences, but it was really like a New Game Plus is how it performs.
No. New Game Plus existed. Okay, hold on. This is the second time I've had to explain this today. This is weird.
Okay.
There are 4 things in that game.
Yeah.
There are 4 modes.
Yeah.
Now, you only have to beat 2 of them to have beaten the game.
Yep.
But there is what happens if Leon goes first, what happens if Claire goes first. That is like what you're talking about, New Game Plus. Slightly different.
Right.
But there is also a B scenario, which is what happens from a different perspective while whatever you were doing the first time around, this is what was happening elsewhere. That is a different game in the same setting.
If you told me that it was from the perspective of a actual bee, then I would play that game again. Totally. Here, the whole thing's told from the perspective of a bee that was in all the rooms that you didn't notice. There's a game. I'll play that.
But you meet entirely different characters and you go entirely different places.
Yeah, and I don't disbelieve you. I just think it's weird you run credits before that. That's all. Is that DLC?
Well, yeah,
is it
because they want you to feel like you accomplished half of something, and you should be proud.
But
of
no
it.
other game runs credits at the half point. I don't think that works.
Sure, the credits are weird.
Yeah, right.
But it was 19. They're trying to be. Sometimes games try to be innovative, and then they end up being.
So you're saying in this 2018 or whatever it was remake, 2019, they wanted to reproduce that as well?
Because you beat it. You beat
the game.
50% of the game.
Yeah, but no other game.
Usually you run credits after the full campaign content is done.
Correct. Bo was right.
There's 2 games. You beat the first one.
No. See now that if your claim
is there a disclaimer somewhere saying, by the way, you've only played half the game?
Yeah, it happens at the end.
No.
Well, there you go.
When? In the end of the credits?
Yeah, post credits. It tells you to play through the other scenario to see the true ending.
Oh, to see the true ending. So it's a bait and switch. Hey, this ending you think you got didn't really happen. Go do the true ending.
Everyone who plays it is happy to have 50% more game. Like,
didn't you think it ended a little weird and abrupt?
Yeah, I did. but I'm used to that from video games generally speaking, and also Japanese video games tend to end abruptly for me.
All right, let's talk dollars. How much money is it going to take to get you to finish Resident Evil 2?
We've already established that if I'm playing that Amnesia game, it's going to cost people. No, look, I would consider it for next Halloween. I'll consider it.
Oh, look at that.
Yep, I'm committing this much. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Halloween after next. Halloween after this
It's
one.
the next one.
Halloween 3 rather. What year is it? Yeah. 2023 is the year that we'll sit down again, and I'll play the remaining half. I think it's installed. I didn't even uninstall it.
We'll all forgotten by then. That's the move.
Oh, but the fans won't. They right.
John won't forget. You and I'll forget. John, I don't think will.
Yeah, I'll set a reminder with Siri. I'll tell her to schedule it.
And then your Alexa will pipe in. Cancel.
Yeah.
I did it again. Shouldn't have one in here with me. Okay. Well, there's your big news across the survival horror genre. How perfect to have a week before Halloween. I love it. Let's move on though, because the Sims 5 is probably underway, and so Sims 4 is now free to play, no matter who you are. It doesn't. Awesome. I don't know that. See, that game's not monetized for free to play. I think this is just them saying, "Hey, player base, go for it until we're ready with 5."
No, I think it's to the brim with microtransactions.
Did they redo it?
All the T-shirts and all the items.
It's monetized through a insane amount of expansions.
Yeah,
there is a insane amount of expansions to The Sims 4.
I'm just gonna look on Steam. Let's see how many.
Yeah, check it because
59 expansions.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's where they get.
I mean, some of them are tiny content, but like I'll read the top ones. The Sims 4 First Fits Kit for $6. High School Years expansion pack for $54.99. Cats and Dogs $54.99 on sale for half price. This is Canadian.
Well, here's the real total that's really impressive.
920. Oh yeah, you say it. Go ahead.
If you and right now keep in mind that a vast majority of these items are on sale at either 50 or 30% off.
Uh-huh.
And if you add all the DLC to your cart for the free game, right?
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $641.42.
Yeah, it's super free to play.
So that makes me think that by going free to play, which I don't think I think you know what I'll bet this is, and they don't get into it here, but I think it's just the base game. It's no other content. So yeah, John's right. The way they monetize this thing is they go, I want pets. I want an Apple store, or whatever that thing is I saw once.
An Apple store.
It was like that. It was like a big fake Apple store that somebody had in their Sims, and I can't remember what the deal was. But anyway, if they want to do all that, then they go spend money there. It hurts them not at all to make this is like World of Warcraft. Just make the base game free, and then how they monetize it is already happening. And then
free to play now.
What? Well, WoW base game is, yeah. You can just download and play the.
Oh, that's right. You're
the
right.
thing without paying a
it's not so long since
it still needs a prescription.
You can pay up to the expansion pack, but yes, you can get it and play for free.
Yeah, because they can't charge for freaking vanilla WoW. That'd be, especially because it's not really in there. Well, I guess it is now with Classic, but it's a complicated world over there at Blizzard right now. Anyway, the point is
most online games want you in, and then they'll hit you with the sales pitch rather than. Yeah. Most people won't bother if they don't try the game and like it,
Right. Well, in this case, I think they're just waiting for 5.
Same with Overwatch.
This is a good PR move. You can say, "Hey, we're not going to charge for Sims 4 anymore, the base game. Come on in and play." And it sounds generous, but it's really not a big deal because the game's old now and all the expansions are out and everything else. And then, but you build that
2014,
goodwill.
8 years, eh?
Yeah, it's been a bit. Yeah. So you make that crowd happy. You know you're working on 5. They'll all pay for 5 plus the 50 other expansions 5 will get.
Well, and who knows what 5's going to be? We don't even know if it's going to be called 5, but maybe
we call one Sims.
Could be. Yeah, it could be the Sims.
The Sims.
Just who knows what they're going to decide to call it, and who knows how they're going to monetize it. Like, it's always weird. Like, Sims has been an iconic series for a very long time. Like, it's been a long time since I played The Sims. Probably around the time Sims 4 came out was the last time I checked it out. And it is always weird when you get in new now, because we do live in a time where it's all about the expansions. And so there is sometimes this feeling, and I get it when I play certain games, like Civilization can be like this, where you go from a game that's been supported for years to now the new base game, and you get in and you go, wow, it's prettier and it runs better, new music, new models. Where is everything?
Yeah.
Why
where are
is
all
there
the
nothing
things?
in this video game?
Yeah.
And I'm curious what they do. You know, who knows what a Sims game being made, a lot in video game has changed in 8 years.
Yeah, more than you'd think.
Do you want to spend $50 or $30 on My Wedding Stories game pack?
No. Tell me what's in it, Bo. Maybe you can sell me on it. What do you
I
got
don't
there?
know. It looks like weddings, like all the kit for weddings.
Really? So like a
I
like
don't
a
know,
bread
I mean, like,
basket?
why does Mark reach out to these guys and just use these assets and make it VR? Like,
Oh no, wait. Sims in VR. Let me think about that.
Oh my gosh. You want to talk about a problem.
well, just use the assets. I'm not saying like make the game, but it's like, you know.
Oh, just
No,
put
that's
them out
what
there the way it
Scott's
is.
suggesting.
I'm
'cause
saying
so many people, I know so many people that say, yeah, I played The Sims, but I stopped because I realized I was just doing what I should have been doing in my real life virtually. Now you make it a VR game on top of it, and it's like, look, guys, I'm sorting my mail.
Yeah. It also
No,
just
there's a game in VR called I think it's called Job Simulator.
Oh, I have Job
The
Simulator.
game does exist.
Yeah.
I
It's a
haven't
good
played
game.
it yet, but because
It's chorecore in
exactly
VR.
as you described. It's you literally go to a meaningless job and do meaningless work.
It's
but-
chorecore.
yeah.
I'm telling you. That's exactly what it is. But it feels something about that game in VR felt really good.
Well, it's comical. I mean, it's not meant to be.
Oh yeah, it's not a sim.
But I'm just saying that yes, John. I was trying to help support John's point.
Well, good.
Like, why don't I have a wedding in real life instead of in VR? But that's
Exactly.
I think that's what people are going to be saying forever, as long as VR is a thing. So I just better get used to it.
By the way, I made a new thing. Anytime I talk about a chorecore game on the show, I had to choose between all these clips. I'll play the
Take
first
a muscle
ones.
relaxant.
No, I'll play the first. I'll play all the clip. My arms actually feel heavy. It's weird. It's like
Yeah,
Like
I've been there. I've been there.
it's a very
buddy, I
odd
know.
feeling.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I bring a chorecore game to the show, or any of us does, I needed a good. I wanted to play a little bumper for it, a little stinger. But I like these short, as you guys know. I don't like big, long, freaking intros to segments. I think it's a waste of listeners' time. So I chose from this grouping.
When you work in an office,
I'm a working man.
You're only working for this marshmallow temporarily.
work harder.
What kind of stuff did you do at work?
I'm happy to be working with you.
Get in, Dick. We got to work fast.
I can see we have a lot of work to do.
Those are all my choices.
Oh, I thought that was choice one.
You should play
I
them.
was like, at least you're not wasting anybody's
No,
time.
they were.
You should play them all. We just need a rock track over it.
Yeah.
I know, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Honestly, I think play them all
Yeah.
and with music behind them, and then you just yelling chorecore at the end.
I
All
think if you want to shorten it, just cut out work from all of them and have it go work.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that.
And then you yelling short.
Well, here's what
I
I
think that should be
chose.
at the end, no matter what.
Here, oh well, I'll think about that. But here's the one I chose out of that group.
Work harder.
I just like that one for some reason, so I'll hang on to it for now. But I like that work. All the different ways of saying work, ladies,
As
men.
many different works as you can say.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
even
can
at the
put
same
that
time.
Song in front of it, and
I
then
fe-
just work.
I found a website. If I can find the name of it, but basically it lets you search for movie quotes, and it brings the clip immediately and plays it.
Oh, I need it.
I can't find it now.
Send
though.
it.
I'll find it
No,
when I do. I'll send
you
it.
can't lose a gem like that.
I'll
Scott.
find it and send it to you. It was actually, I found it through some, I don't know, it's like a TikTok where they're like, weird website you never knew existed or whatever. And they showed this one. I'm like, that's actually rad. So I use it sometimes for clip gathering, but I'll find it and send it to you. Anyway, Sims people, I guess get excited. I don't know. Maybe you are already. Sony tweets and then deletes a Bloodborne teaser image, and the community's kind of freaking out if you're into that game. The From Software classic, their PlayStation exclusive Bloodborne. And all it is a Bloodborne image. Like you can see it here. I'll put it up.
Yeah, people like From Software games.
They do, it turns out.
People also get really fun about Bloodborne. Like this is one of From Software's like big games. It never really went anywhere else. It was always just kind of on the one console. People have been hungry for this in a lot of different places. So
Yep.
I can see people losing their minds over this.
I love the subtitle on thegamer.com's article where it says Sony probably should have known better than to poke that bear. They are a very fickle bunch for sure. But what I think it means, because that's all we can do is guess because Sony hasn't said, is there's a big remaster / remake of this coming to PlayStation 5. That's probably it. I don't know why they goofed and only showed it for a second, then deleted it. Lots of companies screw up like that or do it on purpose or whatever they do. I think that was probably a mistake given the community and its vocalness. But yeah, you think that'll happen? Probably play it. Well, I guess your mom's PS5 because you can't find one still or whatever.
Yeah, I guess steal from them if I want to play it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've already played Bloodborne and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's no Elden Ring. Get all the Bloodborne people mad at me. But,
okay, no, that's good. I wanted to hear that because I wanted to ask how it compared. It's much more like a closed environments and stuff, right? Like it's more like the Dark Souls games where it's caves and caverns and those are the same thing.
It's different, and I don't mean to be so reductive because people are going to get genuinely mad about that comment because people really do like Bloodborne. Bloodborne is a very cool innovation on the Dark Souls formula that even Elden Ring is not, because Dark Souls is very much about the, like, you know, hold up your block and try and circle strafe and try and parry and stuff like that. Bloodborne was designed around a bit more of a, it's not action-y combat like Sekiro, but it's kind of like a mid-step. So you have weapons that have dual modes that you can switch between that function very differently within the same weapon, that change up the way you play very quickly on the fly. You don't have shields. You have a pistol that you collect bullets from, and you can shoot during openings to get a cool, like, riposte moment within the combat. And if you take damage, you can refill the health that you lost from taking damage by doing damage, which encourages you not to play the very passive, like, oh, let me roll around. Like, that's kind of the joke with Elden Ring is like, oh, something's attacking me. I just roll. Like, in this game, because you can recover health by hitting enemies, there's very much this incentive to, oh, I got hit. Now I need to be extra aggressive.
Yeah.
And you know, when you play these types of games, that's usually a trap. It's usually not a smart way to play, but it's balancing that. And I think it makes for a very cool, very different experience, even though there is some shared DNA there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Bo is a recent from convert and played so much of Elden Ring this year. Bloodborne on, let's say it's a PC announcement. We don't know, but let's say they say, yeah, this is coming to Steam along with all our other cool Sony games. Maybe that's the thing they're teasing. And people have been begging for that. Would you immediately play Bloodborne on PC?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really care too much, honestly. Like, I'm not a From Software fan.
I thought you would like
I liked that. I liked Elden Ring a lot. I appreciate a lot about it, but I'm not like, you know, I'm not one of them. Like, I'm not like a fan of like everything because I feel like people give too much praise to From Software. It's like, yeah, they're good, but like, chill out, you know. So
you cracked.
I don't know. Maybe I'll feel like playing it. Like, you know, a very kind listener gifted me Sekiro, but I'm like, you know, it's just
you don't feel driven.
It's great. Like, you know, I don't know. Anyways, that's why I'm just like, whatever. Get your Bloodborne.
You know, we haven't heard from the From Software people in a while. I'm excited for their reaction to this episode.
And I'm excited for this whole debate. Oh, we finally get a good game. Yeah. Other companies don't know how to make games. You know, like all that shit. Like,
I don't like it either.
Anyways, like, yes, it's a good game. I respect that it's great and very innovative and respect it a lot. But like, you know, yeah.
Much ado about nothing.
There's lessons to be learned that other developers could take away for sure about UI and stuff like that. But you know,
there's some UI
overstated. It's
overstated.
Overstated.
But don't you think there's some UI lessons that From could learn from the rest of the industry? Because I thought that the game had some weird UI choices.
Well, it certainly has a ton of menus. They can't act like it's like, you know.
I think if you have a button that opens the map and the other menu items, that same button should also close that. And I'm not saying they're the only ones to do this. Other games have, but just Scott's going to float it out there as a universal belief.
I know what you're talking about. There was some different. It's a different schema. You just have to get used to it. Like Assassin's Creed was different than what I was used to a lot too. I was bitchy at first, but you get used to it. You know?
Well, with game controls, it's one thing because they got to do their own thing. I get it. I think shooters should be a little closer to each other just for their own good, because that muscle memory will bring people to your game and put them off.
I like From Software games. I'm just like, you asked me if I'm excited. It's like, I'm just kind of neutral about it. There's a new From Software game. I don't.
Well, new old one.
Oh, it's a remake.
Oh yeah. Well, a re-release. We don't know actually. We don't know if they're making a sequel or not.
Yeah,
we have no idea.
Yeah, I'm just at this juncture. It's funny. There's been a lot of announcements this week. I'm neutral on all of it.
Yeah,
nothing here for me.
All right,
then the VR stuff was exciting. I had my week last week.
None of it requires a headset, so Bo is out.
I had my week last week.
Yeah, you did have your week. That was VR week, and we enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
It's still semi-unfortunate because of Zuckerberg and stuff. But
oh yeah,
take what I can get.
Did I tell you guys I haven't heard back yet, but I might get to 10-day test that new headset. But only for 10 days.
From Software was making a VR game. Oh, you would see my ween from outer space. The whole house would lift off the ground.
Bo has just ascended. He's not with us.
I still like flat screen games.
2022 gaming.
I don't even think he heard what I said before.
We'll be talking about flat screen games that I'm very excited about soon. But horror games and From Software games are not like my favorites.
Yeah, it is the season for that though.
Yeah, it's totally fine. All right, one final story. Bayonetta has some voiceover drama going on. Have you guys been following this mess?
Yes.
Yeah.
As best you can. It is a little impenetrable because you've got one side saying an awful lot and you've got another side saying we can't talk about it. So
very little.
It's hard to pick a side in the issue, but let me tell you, I responded to one of Jason Schreier's tweets pretty early. That was a mistake because I got to hear a whole lot of other people's opinions on this stuff.
I'll bet. Yeah.
The only point. All right, hang on. Maybe we should just start at the beginning. So I didn't know who this person was. This Helena Taylor.
She's the original voice of the.
She's the voice actor of Bayonetta.
The hair lady.
She doesn't do a lot of voice acting overall. So this is like her one iconic role. So she tweeted out this whole thing where she was insulted because essentially she was offered $4,000 to play Bayonetta again in 3, having done it in 1, 2, and I believe there's an anime. She had asked for more money, and she was refused. So the game director refuses to speak in English. So she had someone translate a letter into Japanese, send it to him, and as she says, she was very nice to him, very complimentary, but reaffirmed their offer of $4,000. So she said, and it's a week before the game launches, everyone boycott the game, donate the money, send it to charity.
Wait, she already did the voice work? Because it was almost ready to launch?
No, she was offered it and she turned it down. And she suffered apparently a lot of it. Her story suffered a lot of stress and anxiety. She could barely afford a car. And they were not negotiating with her whatsoever. So this set the internet on fire.
Why did it though? Because I'm still a little confused. I'm all for fair pay and worker rights and all that, but isn't this just a business
Jason
dispute?
Schreier and another, I think, video game. They looked Video Game Rant or something like that. They looked into it from sources on the inside. And Jason Schreier has a reputation for being on the side of the worker, so this is taken with a huge amount of maybe temperament, or not temperate, but it's sort of cooled off on this thing. Whereas she says she was offered $4,000, but the real story might have been that she was offered $4,000 for 5 days of work at $4,000 a day or something like that. So the total amount would have been $15,000, and that there might have been other issues going on in the background. And we don't know her. We don't know the company, and she's mic dropped, so she's out. She just posted, "I'm not answering. That's it. I said what I have to say. I'm out." So there's a lot of questions and speculation. There's some inside sources saying some other stuff. And to boot, this game director, I've learned for this series, is on Twitter, but his rules are that you can only speak to him in Japanese. Otherwise, he blocks you. No English. And when he is tweeted in English, he refers to people insultingly as insects.
Okay.
Like, stop talking to me in English, insect. And I'm like, well, this guy sounds like a real asshole. I'm like, I can't like. So you got a guy who like refers to people as insects, who's obviously, you know, and then you've got. I lean towards sympathetic. Now, even if she was going to be making $15,000 at $4,000 a day, she is the iconic voice of their franchise. Like, to not have sat down at the negotiating table at all. And her point is, she's worked hard. They've used her. They make millions and millions of dollars, and they're going to give her $15K. She asked for a little bit more, maybe a lot more. I think it was like 100, something in six figures.
The number was
residual. But
figures,
that's not a lot.
Specific.
That's not a lot. And the point that I made to the Jason Schreier thing, which I got a lot of stupid responses were, is that, you know, Chris Pratt voice acting in Super Mario did not do it for $15,000, and he's spent 0 days as Mario. She's already worked on 3 projects, an anime and 2 video games.
Yeah.
And they're still offering her the baseline. So,
did you suddenly get attacked by stans of the Mario movie with Chris Pratt as voicing it? Did that happen?
Well, I got a bunch of people who were like, "There's a big difference between movies and video games. You're an idiot," you know, like. And I'm like,
no, there isn't.
They're both dramatic performances. They're both animated.
Yeah,
they're working in the capacity as voice actors, even if Chris Pratt's a real movie actor. I get it.
Yeah,
and I get
guess which industry makes more money right now.
Well,
video games.
Video games. And
yeah.
I get that the Hollywood industry is more robust and protective of its superstars, and the video game industry as F all to protect its people. But of course, it seems like everyone's taking the side of this voice actress is out of line. And it's because I've landed on like, I'm not sure who's right. I'm not rushing to her corner because I don't know anything about her. Maybe she's shitty. She threw Jennifer Hale under the bus because she's the one replacing her. But I'm like, well, if I was the iconic voice of someone and they offered me a pittance, I'd be kind of pissed at the person taking my place.
Well, here's why that should make you madder, though, because there's no way Jennifer Hale got that rate. She got paid more.
No, she definitely got paid more.
100%.
But, you know, Jennifer Hale probably, you know, she obviously knew she's taking someone's slot, but like, you know, she's just working. I don't know what happened behind the scenes to make that a thing. But I think I would be mad. You know, I would be mad. It's very akin to what we're doing. We don't do voice acting, but their bread is buttered on the audio side of things. There's less money in audio than in, you know, actually performing on video.
Yeah.
You know, if you were to be shorted something that you helped create, you just like halfway through There Will Be Dungeons, you're like, okay, we're not paying you. Just get out of here. And then someone else, I'd be like kind of pissy at the person given the circumstances. So that seemed to have taken over the conversation. And I don't think she was really rude to the person. She just, you know, it feels like someone's sleeping in your bed or in your shoes. So
maybe. I guess my big takeaway is I still don't understand why a business negotiation dispute, which happens every day at every company, always at $4 all the way to is this the job I'm going to take or not? Like, that's just business. I don't, as far as I can tell, other than that guy's probably a kind of a dick with the insect thing, and I only talk to Japanese people or whatever. It doesn't make him nice, but nobody's doing anything untoward or egregious here in terms of, like, you know, any of that. It's just a contract dispute. So I just don't know why this is a thing we're all in now. We all
there's
have
a lot of speculation. Mic dropped. That company's not going to give us any more information. All we're left with is their speculations. Like that's sort of the shitty part is that she came out and like lit everything on fire. And people are like, well, we need to clarify some things, and she's not responding any further. it's like, okay.
I think there's a case to be made, and it's a case that comes up often in the world of parenting, where it's like you can be technically right but handle a situation wrong. And I think there's a lot of people in this not handling situations well, even if they're technically right. You know, it's the same principle of, well, he took something from me. Okay, that's fine. But did you punch him in the head in response to that? Because that was maybe not the best way to handle it.
Right.
And I think coming out and asking fans to boycott a game is not a extremely classy way to handle this. I think shining a light on it and shining a light on like voice actors, and especially if you're not a big name or you're not in a union, and like what they have to go through and what their issues are is probably a better way to handle it. I know the guy who does the voice of Guybrush Threepwood he basically said like, look, this drama has brought up a lot of interesting things. I don't know the people. I don't want to get into the personal stuff, but it did make me want to. And he wrote up a really long thread about like what it's like to be a voice actor that's maybe iconic for a role, but doesn't do a whole lot of work. And it was actually really interesting and really compelling. And while that doesn't get the click traffic that, you know, going, hey, don't buy this game does, I think that that's probably a better way to handle it. It sounds like the company in general, or at least the director, seems like a bit of an ass.
Yeah,
I don't think she cares, because scrolling through her Twitter account, like she seems to work on live performance. She's not like an extensive VO person. She does a lot of live performances, so it's like,
she does a lot of theater and stuff like that.
I think she's well within her rights to do that, and I think she
to do
well
what
within
though?
her rights to bring it.
I don't think anybody's gonna say
bring it to
not
the-
within her rights. It doesn't make it a less assholey move. I think
I don't think it's an assholey move, honestly. Like, I feel like if I have some share, if I feel that I have some share of authorship in a project, but you have all the leverage and you don't compensate me, and I've got nothing to lose by screaming out into the void and telling people these guys are, you know, burn it all down. Like, it's not great, but
I think it's a bit of an asshole move.
I
That's
bet,
what
but,
I'm saying.
But there's this sort of thing where if you keep your frustrations in and don't do anything about it, then it just eats at you. Like, it's
I'm not
good to be
saying do
confrontational.
nothing, but there's a difference, and I think the part that I'm focused in is less that she said boycotting, even though that's what I'm bringing up. It was that when Jennifer Hale got announced, she went on this really, like, honestly kind of weird kick about, like, if you go to conventions, you better not advertise yourself as the voice of Bayonetta. Like, you don't have any right to say that. You know what I mean? And it's
she
like,
doesn't have
that's
the rights to it.
weird. That's a weird stance to take, and it just feels like you can feel frustration, and I feel sympathy for that, because certainly there's something that she obviously cared about, even though she's kind of playing it off that she doesn't. Obviously there's a connection and a passion there behind it, and you see it going somewhere else and you see it going a different direction, and that causes frustration. I just think it's a case of nobody's coming out of this looking super good.
Yeah. I mean, we express our frustration at Fortnite ripping off my idea from There'll Be Dungeons, Seth Meyers ripping off our skit from Core, the Abyssal Chicken showing up based on the Chicken Lord of our campaign. Like, I'm not making a big thing, but like, I have a growing frustration with seeing stuff I'm involved with in places where I don't earn any revenue or at least get any credit or heads up. And so I'm like, she might not be the best person, but I'm rooting for her to, like, I feel, you know, I'm just like, she might not be the best person. I'm not defending her. I don't know enough about her or the VA industry, but I'm just like, yeah, it sounds like she's getting shortchanged for an iconic role. That sexy, sultry voice is a part of the authorship, and it's unfortunate for her that she built up something and didn't get the leverage sooner. You know, I think you probably could have seen that coming, that I don't own anything, so when it comes time to actually negotiate, I'm going to be the loser. But it does suck, and you know what? I'm cheering for her. I don't even care.
Well, I hope things
issues.
work out for her. I guess the only thing I would add to this conversation, just from a different perspective than I think maybe even the both of you, but this to me is a little bit of a head scratcher, because if you worked at a company and they said, "Hey, do this." Okay, I'll do this. Well, how much are you going to pay me? Well, I'm going to pay you $200. Well, Wayne, that's not my rate. I want to do $400. Sorry, can't do it. Get out of here. We're not doing that. If I then leave and go, that bastard, and I'm going to walk into his waiting room where there's 18 clients and go, "Hey, you guys, don't come here anymore. It's the worst place ever. They treat me like shit. It's the worst. I hate it." And that may be true. They maybe treated her like shit, but the point is, or me like shit. The point is, like, I don't see how this is any different than that, and there's nothing illegal, immoral, or weird about it, other than business as the baseline of morality here. That's all happening every day. So I guess I just don't get. I know it's in our wheelhouse.
Artists and temperaments are like nothing new, right? Like you can look at it and say, like, this is bad business, but you know, the number of creatives I know that you know don't. If they feel something, they're going to express it. Like, it's just, you know.
Oh, we should express it. I have no problem with that. I'm just trying to understand, like, the way Schreier words things here. It sounds like he's describing Activision Blizzard sexual harassment suit, but different situation, whole different.
Well, I think this is getting on a different thing. I read the Jason Schreier article, and I actually thought it was one of the, like, typically he kind of comes across as like, oh man, earth shaking. Well, look at him. I actually didn't like this one, and I think a part of it, and a part of the reason why, Bo and I can kind of feel similar but different at the same time about it, is because this isn't a factual, this isn't reporting something that a company did. This is about reporting people's feelings and behavior to an emotional response to things, and we're going to have different levels of how we react to that, how we deal with that. We talked about, Bo brought it up, he said, how he feels when Fortnite's having an event where somebody's trying to chrome the world, and he goes, well, geez, that feels taken right out of my D&D campaign, and he gets upset about it. I look at it and go, you know what, I can't tell you the amount of ideas I've had that it feels like people reached right into my head and pulled out of my head because it was something that I did, and that was before I was doing podcasting or anything, so I know it wasn't stolen from me, but it feels like it was because somebody took an idea that just I felt unique to me. So I tend to shrug it off. The Dear Martha thing with Seth Meyers, like, I can't be the only person that heard those letters and thought, that's funny. Like,
we don't have a claim because we weren't working with either of them. Right. We don't have a claim. I was just expressing that I understand the feeling, because even at that level, I get frustrated. So if I actually worked with someone who was ripping off my shit and then shortchanging me, like, yeah, but burn it down like nuclear rockets, like, for sure.
But even still, I think our temperaments are different, and we're dealing with an emotional thing. And I think temperament is a perspective issue, and I think that's why Jason Schreier's article itself feels a little off, because how do you take a stance on something that is based on emotional response and temperament? There isn't a right and wrong.
Yeah. Also, there's no police to call here. It's just a thing. It's a business transaction.
We don't know enough. That's why I said we don't know enough. But I think a lot of, like, I don't know. Like, I remember taking a workshop for voice acting. The guy was like, you got to get used to the idea that if you want to do this for a profession, you don't get paid a salary. In fact, you spend most of your time working for free, auditioning. So when you get a gig, you're hoping it'll be lucrative or how it'll carry you over. So $15,000 might sound like a lot for a couple hours work. That might be the only thing she does for months. You earn less than minimum wage some years. Like, so you get some lean years if you don't got projects. So I think if you've earned your way through an anime series in 2 games and you're like, yo, because she says, like, I can't afford a car, I'm depressed because I have this, I'm internationally recognized for something that I get like 15 grand for. She makes a point, like, I went to 7 years of school to train. Like, Chris Pratt's going to do the Super Mario movie and make a ton of money. I don't think she's asking for Chris Pratt money, but she's asking for something that reflects her worth. And she's pissed about it. Like, so I'm on her side. I think if people become iconic in the video game space, and like Scott said, they make more money than movies, then, like, yeah, I probably, if I was willing to bet, I would, knowing all the facts, I would side with her, unless she did something really grody or there's a reason for that divide. I think Platinum Games did her dirty.
Well,
yeah,
I just don't know why. I just don't know why the world's an audience to it. I have done this before, though. Myself, I used my, at the time, 45,000, whatever it was, Twitter followers to go after a host that screwed me over for some web stuff. And they didn't know I had, they were being complete asses to me about all of it. And we're going to end up not giving me any of the money they promised or any of the stuff. It's a long story. But I went to Twitter and complained about them and, like, called them out. And it worked. Those guys flooded me with apologies. I got phone calls the next day saying, what can we do to fix this? Well, hey, we'll give you the money and extend the thing. Like, there's power in that. There's power in it, especially if you're doing something where, somebody has actually been wronged. So is it a dick move? A little bit. Could she have done it under less emotional distress? Maybe. Is she in a position where it's hard to do that and she's really desperate at the moment and it does matter and she does have the value beyond that? Absolutely. But the other problem is it's just a pay dispute. Like, you know what I mean? Those are a million of those.
But she's like it's a different thing. She has a fan base. People that are crazy about anime. I'm sure she goes to conventions, gets signatures, handshakes. That's why she's saying.
But that's nebulous. Like, what value is that? Like in numbers? Like,
I mean, we don't see how many people write her, what fan mail she gets. I know the voice actor for Tuxedo Mask, Sailor Moon, said he would get like panties in the mail and like underwear and stuff like that from men. He was just saying, I get all kinds of weird shit. And I'm like, people would write the voice actor for Tuxedo Mask and Sailor Moon. And he's like, yeah, you wouldn't believe. Like, so she's probably feeling like she's disappointed. Like she has ownership. Her voice is not going to be in the game. You want to explain on some level and you're pissed.
No, I agree 100%. I'm just saying, I don't know. You can say, well, she's got an internationally recognized voice in this video game series. Okay, well, what is that? Is that 50 grand? Is that 100 grand? Is that 300 grand?
Well, that's up to them to negotiate. I think,
exactly.
I said this
that's
once.
That's what I'm saying.
But I said this once to someone employing me. I was working for a recruiter, and I called. So on a long weekend where you have a statutory holiday, you have to work the Friday and like the Tuesday, or the Thursday and the Monday to get paid your statutory pay. If you called in sick one of those days, you don't get your statutory pay. So turns out I called in sick one of those days, and I called them to complain. And I said, why didn't I get my statutory pay on my paycheck? And they're like, well, these are the rules. So that's what we did. And I said, I don't care what the rules are. I'm a good employee. What are you going to do for me? I don't care. Just because the minimum baseline is like, oh, we passed the bar. I don't care about the minimum baseline. I'm a good employee. What are you going to do to respect me? I should get my statutory pay. I'm reflecting your business really well. And they issued me a check, and I walked in and I cashed a check. It was like minimum wage, like $50 or something. But I was like, just because something is the rule and they try to pass that off on you, like video games expensive and this is the industry standard. I'm like, bitch, I'm Bayonetta. Pay me. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, yeah, hell yes, girl. Like, do that. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Go for it. Push it all you can.
So
but
she had every right to want to renegotiate.
Yeah, that's not an issue. I just don't know why we all know about it. That's the part I don't get. I mean, I get that she posted it, and that's why we're all talking about it.
Yeah, that's why we all know about it, is because it turned out to be a no. In fact, the word is, and again, there's a lot of sides not talking, and she said her piece and now is also no longer talking. So it's hard to get any clarifications on a story where nobody is saying anything. So but the rumor is that she asked for something. My understanding is that she asked for residuals from the game, which is extraordinarily rare in the realm of voice acting.
Yeah, it's very rare.
But that their counter offer was exactly what they offered her to begin with. So I don't think it's hard to see that and say, I went to the negotiating table, and whether what you were asking for was realistic or not, if they offered literally the exact same thing, I can see being pissed.
But is that how it went? Did they just issue her a thing that says, this is money, you take it, or whatever? Or did they contact her and say, we're so sorry, it's all we can do. They've capped me. I don't even have the final decision. My boss does.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't even 100% know that there's speculation about the figures. Some people are saying she was offered a total of 4,000. Some people were told she was being offered 4,000 a session. But the rumor is she went back wanting a 6-figure salary plus residuals.
So what? And then they went back and said,
seems reasonable. I mean, if it's on the low end, if it's 100K and residuals, that seems reasonable for the mascot of the entire franchise.
No, I agree. And guess what? They probably paid Jennifer Hale that or more. My whole point is, though, we're only talking about it because it's video games, right?
Well, we're talking about it because she brought it up, and because it's video games. But
you see what I'm saying? Like if John says, damn it, I went in to ask for my raise, they wouldn't give it to me. I'm taking this to Twitter, and he goes nuts on it. I mean, outside of our friendships, obviously we'd want to support John, but yeah, I don't know is that news? I don't know what that is. That's just me. I would feel bad for John.
It's an interesting discussion because we love voice actors. We talk about them and know them. But they're invisible because you don't see their face. Chris Pratt, unfortunately, is not invisible. Like the Hollywood machine,
a little too visible,
operates differently. But the thing is, like, I'm not like we're sitting here talking about like arguing about which rich people should get things. But I'm like, if a company's when I hear that a company's gonna pull in several hundreds of millions on an IP, and one of their chief creative principal performers that makes the magic of Bayonetta happen is getting $15,000. Right? Imagine Chris Pratt on Super Mario being like, "We're going to make $1 billion on this. You get 15K." Chris Pratt's going to go, "I think I'm going to make Guardians of the Galaxy 3." You think Chris Pratt got less money for Guardians 3 or more money?
He doesn't.
Right?
He doesn't even
Like-
need Mario money at this
But
point.
did he get more money on for 3 than for 1? Obviously,
yeah,
And he
of course.
They stopped the movie. They're like, "No James Gunn, no Guardians 3. What up, Disney?" Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it doesn't matter what reasons the game director who calls people insect is probably in the wrong, and she may not be a perfect actor, perfect like participant in this. She may have done some things wrong, but she's Bayonetta. Pay her. Like that's all. Like, you know, if there's other stuff that's behind the scenes, I don't know. And I think that's true for a lot of voice actors who are iconic. Maybe did Liam get 4,000 for Illidan, or does he get extra money because he is the iconic voice of Illidan, right? Like who else? Like
That's why I think
is-
there's something
you
else
know-
going on. Because if they would turn around and pay Jennifer Hale's rate, then it ended
Right.
up, it wouldn't have been the money in the first place. Something else is up. Because we don't know, it could as easily been the company has got a serious dispute with her that she's not talking about.
But then there's a press release. We've had creative differences with the parties involved, and we have decided to part ways. But has the company
They
done
don't
this?
know it's that
No.
though. I mean, we won't have any
They
answers.
do owe the fans that. So you haven't really played Bayonetta?
No,
Her
I like
voice is
Bayonetta, the big
iconic
hair
to the
lady.
role.
No, I get it. I
Like
get it.
think Liam and Illidan, Bayonetta, and this person's
No,
voice,
I
in
agree.
my
For
opinion.
fans of that series, like if I were them, I would probably seriously be considering skipping on the game or at least waiting till things, fizzle out or whatever.
They're like I saw there's a lot of comments in the thread that are like, "Oh, thank you, I canceled my pre-order." Okay, well, yes, she's had a lot of support as well. People have, of course, turned it into an us versus them, and everyone's an expert. I'm just saying, it sounds like she didn't get paid, and I don't, I hear about the leader of that company calling people insects, and I'm like, I don't know, I think we should listen to women, like. I don't know. I like. Am I going to take the side of the insect?
No, he's a
self-centered
turd.
dude, or am I going to listen to
No,
the
yeah, that
girl and
guy
be like,
sucks.
He's the worst.
I'm like, I think probably she was treated badly. And you know what? Even if she is hard to work with, it's show business. How many movies have we watched with all kinds of people in creative space that are not that easy to work with? Like,
yeah, but
that's
we
no
usually have-
excuse. That's
but-
talent management.
No,
It
you're
has to
right,
be
but we
something
usually
really
again
bad.
we're assuming so much because in your scenario, yes, we know all of that because we know. In this case, we don't know anything because neither side's
Well, we don't
talking.
know, but I'm just saying to address the speculation. I'm like, the tolerance level should, if it was that bad, there should have been a press release. Like the company should be like, we know it's a disappointment for fans, but unfortunately, we had. It's coming clean. It's being honest. Like you would do that. I'm just watching Ted Lasso.
I don't
right?
think
and,
that
and the soccer lady, the soccer owner, is just confessing to all the shitty things she did to Ted.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think
so,
to your point, though, the
you
guy
know.
who calls people insects isn't gonna care enough to do a press release.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. That's why I'm like, if I had to just bet, we're gambling. It's poker. You got to bet one way. You don't
All right,
have all
let's
the
bet.
information.
Let's bet.
I'm placing the bet on the woman who's like, having a hard time struggling versus the guy who's like, shut up, insect, stop tweeting at me in English. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
yeah, like that's
since there's no
you know.
actionable accusations they're really making, because again, it's just a
No.
pay dispute. But if I was to put my money down, yeah, I'd probably go that way too.
Yeah.
I usually don't trust in the companies. And besides, here's when you know if this thing's really having an impact is if Nintendo proper gets involved, because Nintendo's sole publisher of that product. They own it, basically. So if they're going to keep making Bayonetta games and they want any kind of goodwill around this, they may have to get involved and get out in front of it in a PR way. If they don't, I think it affects sales. But also Nintendo not known for being really good at this, so
No.
they don't like to get involved in anything.
and like she might have controversial views. I mean, nobody knew it. It's not like we've seen an article, so it's
Did she? I don't know about that.
the people that develop your games have controversial views. They I don't want to bring up any names again because I'm going to get emails, but like there are definitely people there that probably, if you actually talk to the developers of any of your favorite games, they're worked on by a myriad of people. They have controversial views, unless she was becoming a nuisance very publicly. But I think this was way worse than whatever was going on otherwise. So,
right.
I'm not, I think that's why I said I'm not defending her. I'm just saying on the side of the negotiation, she was probably given a raw deal.
In other news, Bloober Team who's making the new. The new.
Yeah, we can move
Silent
on.
Hill.
Yeah, sorry.
Bloober Team.
They are owned 22% of them, or 22% of that company is owned by Tencent. So now go back and be mad at that, and we'll just not.
Tencent's rooting gaming.
That's right. All right, we're gonna take a break. Oh, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Sorry, no. I just to put a cap on it. I think I agree with a lot of what was said here.
I hope she gets the right rate. She should get the rate she deserves.
I would bet on her over the company until more information is forthcoming, and maybe she is. Maybe it really is like very hard to work with. So who knows?
Maybe she is. Maybe she isn't. Maybe they're great. Maybe they're not. Maybe everyone totally sucks in this scenario. The thing that'll frustrate me is that there's no actionable anything about it other than what do we learn from it? Did we learn that we really do our shopping does? Or what do they say that the money speaks or whatever it is?
I mean, I probably it affected me.
I'm just like, I think that's what I was trying to get to with it is that like nobody's coming out of this good. Like that, like that's the biggest issue because first of all, we're talking about one guy, we refer to him as Insect Guy. I think like he's certainly earned a label based on his behavior. Yeah. People are getting mad at Jennifer Hale, who by all accounts is one of the nicest, most supportive of upcoming voice actor people in the entire industry based on things I've seen. Yeah. And she's getting people angry and yelling and insulting her. And then you've got this lady who it sounds like probably deserved considerably more than what she got. Maybe not what she asked for. Who knows? But it doesn't sound like anybody wanted to negotiate. And now not only is she getting that same level of anger from different people, but again, it kind of goes back to like the unfortunate thing is like now this stigma, because it did become a big news story, is hanging over the whole thing. Mm. Sounds like she's done with video game voice acting anyway, so maybe she doesn't care.
Yeah, so I mean, she also that bridge is probably something she can burn. Like just scrolling through her Twitter profile, I saw her working on a stage project and stuff. Like I don't think
Yeah, and she has certainly in her comments been critical enough to where it sounds like she isn't coming back anytime soon. So it's just messy. And to your point, Scott, we don't know. There's a lot of speculation, and I don't think it helps. I don't think this helps anybody.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Well, that's
the crappy part.
That's probably the truth. We'll see how it all pans out. Before we take a break, we are going to do that. We're going to take a break. But when we get back here, Dear Martha's here. We got some stuff.
Yes.
All right. Oh, put
Dear
your images
Martha's
in.
back.
Did you put your images in, John?
I can.
Oh,
what?
Yeah. I need your images still, I think, for that.
Oh, right. I can do that.
That's easy. You can do it in the break. Anyway, we got that coming up. We got the games we played and some emails and this new text thing I'm working on. I'm working on getting texts from people for shows. And it worked. So we'll read a few of those as well. Super short and easy.
I'm curious. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is fun. So brand new feature here on the show that will debut tonight. But that means we'll be back in a minute. Everybody go, pee or whatever. We'll take 5 and we'll be back here shortly.
All right. See you in a bit.
All right. Pause this.
I know you wanted to do a shorter show, but I'm looking forward to our Overwatch Dark time.
Absolutely. Also,
so I think we're going at least till 10, like at least for another hour.
the minute we got into the weeds on her on this voice actor lady thing, it was going to go that way. But it's totally fine. It's good.
Yeah, I'm a sucker. Like I take the bait for these topics.
I don't know if you take the bait. You're just you're rooting for the
debate. I'm a debate lord. I know.
And you're rooting for justice, which is, I think, a key thing.
No, I mean, like I said, I don't care. I just like arguing. Like I just argue for the sake of arguing sometimes. So
sometimes I do the same.
If you want to move on, it's all good. Just let me know.
All right, chat. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. We'll see you in a sec. I went and peed. What do we think? Do you think Bo pooped? Took a big dumper? We're going to find out. You beat John.
Hi. I beat John, yeah.
Yeah, it was fast.
I did want to say, if there's a such thing as an American leprechaun, I think it's Ted Lasso.
Well, he's like,
you know what I mean?
or...
Like an American version, like just, you know, cheery and happy, and
he's great.
It's like he's like a fairy tale figure. I'm on episode 8 or 9, I think.
It's a wonderful show.
It's you're smiling the whole way through it. You know, it's not like I'm laughing out loud, but it is hard to get away from the fact that, you know, he's just.
Yeah. What I like is, if I was to describe it, I would call it wholesome reality is what I would call it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I haven't watched the whole thing yet, so I can't judge fully, but it seems like he's helping other people and stuff, and
yeah, but they don't make him perfect.
But the only thing is he did bang the owner's friend, so I don't know what's going to come of that, but you know.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He's always, you know, it's like he's a bit of a fairy tale character, like, you know, I love the no Schadenfreude zone, but you know that's not.
Well, you're going to get to I don't know if you're there. Maybe
I'm sure. Close. Yeah, like I'm sure it's going to develop more. The writing's pretty good, so you know, I have faith, and I'm enjoying it immensely.
That makes me happy to hear. I like that show a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed it, but
I know, me either. It was like,
I looked at it, like I said, it looks like Ned Flanders the show. But you're like, oh no, the writing's good. It's, you know, judge a book by its cover and be wrong. But
yeah, it's okay once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys talking about Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just, you know, I'm enjoying it quite a bit, actually.
It's wonderful.
Worth all the praise.
Do you kind of see what we meant when we said going in skeptical actually is a strength to that show?
Yeah, because I started this conversation off by saying I think he's the American version of a leprechaun, or just some fairy tale character, because he comes in on his Mary Poppins backpack instead of he's always got his like knapsack around. He's like, how do we make everyone's day better? And I'm like, you don't meet characters like that very often. It's
pretty rare.
In fact, in real life, I don't think I've met anyone like quite like that. So it feels like a fairy tale to me. Anyway.
Sure. So all the Americans we wish we could send up to Canada would be like Ted Lasso.
I mean, it's nice. I enjoy it. Like I said, whenever I'm watching, I'm just constantly smiling. And I'm like, why are you smiling? Stop smiling. And I'm like, oh, just give in to it.
Because it's great.
Give in to the Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Because it's
Let it
great.
wash over you.
All right. Well, let's
You
do
got my pages, Scott?
Oh, yeah. Let me pull
the images. I think you'll know when to switch to them. There's pretty much set obvious lines that set them up.
So we got like an order here per usual.
Yeah.
Let me do this.
Well, people are saying I should invest in a bidet. I'm just worried. Like, I have a okay. Since you're a bidet owner, Scott,
Yes.
maybe you can talk.
I can. What do you
How
got?
often do you shit on the bidet?
Never.
Where is it in the bowl?
Ours is back behind, and it doesn't work until you tell it to work. So there's probably some that are maybe a little tricky, but ours, when you hit the button, goes like a robot, goes and comes out underneath, does its thing, and then pulls back in. And then ours also has a warm dryer thing that blows.
Do you have a big bowl for that, or?
Oh yeah, it's just normal toilet.
Oh, because I worry about like a little bit of shit getting on it on the way down, and then it's crusty, and I'll clean it tomorrow, and the next thing you know, it's 3 weeks, and the bidet is shooting poo water up there because it's so crusty. I guess I just need to see one in action. I've never used one, so
yeah. There's some. I mean, they differ, and there's different qualities and all of that, but I bet we could get you where you want to go.
All right, I'm glad Chicken Schmitz in the chat room has that fear too. So
I don't think you're alone. Yeah, you're not alone.
We're not alone.
But we will definitely do an unboxing and first use video on YouTube. Watch for that.
Finally.
Yep.
Finally.
It's happening. All right, here we go. I'm going to hit play, and we are off to the races. All right, we're back, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there. We are going to now do Dear Martha. And Dear Martha has taken a bit of a turn in recent weeks and months and done, I think, something pretty magical. It also means we've strapped John with a kind of a little part-time job on Thursdays. John, any setup or anything special here for this?
Nope, we got 4 pictures. You'll know when to switch to them, and other than that, it's pretty standard fare.
Off we go. Here
My dearest Martha, today I write to you with a review for GamePro, issue 142, which came out July of the year 2000. Look at this issue, Martha. Just look at it. The cover features Wolverine and Sabretooth locked deep in the throes of passion. Spider-Man and Batman are there too. It's like art on county fair rides. Nobody is going to take legal action, so just draw whatever you want. Kirby? Why the hell not?
Yeah.
We are halfway through the first year of the new millennium, but things are still very 90s around here. All the usual suspects are at play. Letters as equally concerned with violence in video games as they are nudity in Tomb Raider or Duke Nukem. Talk of online as if it is still a mythical creature in need of taming. We are even in a magical place where time and comic book movies are just starting to be good, which meant a ton of video game content based on comic books. You know, when they were cartoony and colorful, and they didn't have to look ready for the big screen. I have to take some time with this week's best advertisement, though. It's something. I guess let's just do it this way. What game do you think this is an ad for? The first page is feet and a fish fin sticking out from the bottom of the bed, with the words, "I will not mate outside my species," written 6 times. Any guesses?
No idea, dude. I don't know what the game is. I'm embarrassed that I don't know this.
Well, page 2 reveals the answer, and the game in question is Seaman.
Oh my lord.
Just Seaman.
Great.
I did at first think that this implied someone really just wanted to plow Seaman. But upon reading the ad, it's actually a cautionary tale of not creating a Seaman by, screwing a fish. I'm not sure which interpretation is actually worse. The rest of the magazine is just a reminder of this weird time in gaming where everything felt like it fit in neat buckets. Before DLC, level up mechanics and everything, and free-to-play nonsense, there was just sports games, RPGs, vaguely sexist action games, mascot games, fighting games, army men games. We still have that. You just have to level something up and play every day of the week now. Also, is Benedict Cumberbatch a time traveler? Look at this walkthrough for Vagrant Story, and you decide. Sorry, podcast listeners, sometimes I send Martha clippings in these letters, and I know you can't see them, but it's really more for her. It is on page 117 if you want to go look it up yourself. Also, sorry for breaking the fourth wall again. Please go about your business. Anyway, that's where I'll leave you today, Martha. This magazine was top-notch, and the previews alone hinted at amazing things to come. Also, why did GamePro always look a little shitty? But somehow seemed cooler because of it? It was the paper, right? Yours in time, S. Beckett, Y2K.
Oh my lord, fantastic. Once again, this is an issue I have in a box back there. I have this one. I guess I kept all the early aughts stuff. Late 90s, early aughts magazines. I have them all still.
That cover is so homoerotic, though.
Oh, wasn't it, though?
This magazine had so much, and I couldn't not comment that just Benedict Cumberbatch is on one of these pages. Long before he was popular, that's just him.
Hold on.
Just his head.
I just realized something, too. You didn't mention, or maybe you did. I heard the Kirby mentioned, but did you mention Batman's back there?
Yeah, I mentioned Spider-Man.
I missed
and Batman
that part.
are also on there.
Oh, that's so nuts. What a weird thing. Vagrant Story. Remember that? Anyway.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff as always. It's time for this, everybody. It's the games we played since we last spoke. All right, we're going to talk about the stuff we all played together or partially together first, and that would be Darktide to start with.
We missed you, Scott.
I know. Yeah. I didn't get to play when you guys played, so Kyle and you two got to play. And really, it would have been great to have a fourth so we could truly test that beta out.
Yeah, we had a random each time, and we were like, man, it could have been Scott in this
Could have been you.
It's such a busy day.
Well, I mean, the nice thing is it did give us we get to all make fun of the rookie vibe, as we're all on comms, so we get to sit there and be like, man, this guy.
Yeah.
Really not doing it for us. Rookie in here.
Diff Saltspire, or however they say it now. Anyway, Darktide, it's the new game coming on November 30th, 2022 on PC, shortly after on consoles. PC's getting this first. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Okay, so I got in for a bit, did the tutorial, and then started a match, and then the server crashed. Which, it's a beta, whatever. It's fine. It's not a problem. But so I really need you guys to tell me, because I will say this from the tutorial angle, how the characters felt, the tone of the thing, that was all ringing for me. That was all good 40K stuff. So how's the game?
That's good. I would say, I've got almost nothing but nice things to say. And the negative things I have to say, I believe are going to be addressed by launch. Because Bo did look this up when we were all playing together, and he confirmed, this beta was not a beta of the entire game. Yeah. It was a just slice of the game for people to get in and stress test servers and things like that. Because my big criticisms going in, I was like, well, it doesn't seem like there's many enemy types, and doesn't seem like there's a lot of weapons, and doesn't seem like there's a lot to do, and the loot after matches are kind of underwhelming. All that stuff is stuff that's going to be expanded out in the main game. I assume, based on what they said, and would hope. That's really the only negatives I have to say, besides a few bugs. I got hit by an enemy so hard it crashed the game.
Oh, jeez.
You were able to reconnect, though, which is nice.
I was, and it was not insanely fast. It was faster than some games, but it was effective, and it got me right back in the action and right back playing, and that was good. So other than that, though, I had a great time. Bo sounds like you just as much so.
Yeah, it seemed like you loved it.
Right. I mean, we haven't played together in a while, and it was really nice to be playing video games with you guys. That was really special. And then, I played the Ogren, the big guy.
Yeah.
And it was so hard. I played one match was the little person, and it was like I got killed so easily. I'm like, oh no, I need to be the big guy and rush in. Like when you're the big guy, everything you have to look down at everything. and you just sort of smash everything with your fists. I think what's John's point is well made, because there's stuff in the game we didn't see, like that was all the same weapon, but like the FAQ is saying it's limited weapons in here. It's just to test the game out. So
right.
And there's different, they've taken a page out of Deep Rock Galactic. So instead of doing a campaign mission, like sequentially, it's like Deep Rock Galactic, where it's like, here's the missions available, pick one that suits your difficulty level.
Oh, interesting.
And mission type. So it's like way more replayable, right? The other one's kind of like, okay, we went through all the missions. Did we just do the missions again?
Yeah, I got grindy.
This one is like, oh, we'll do an assassination mission. And I think the way you navigate through the map, it's like a really big map, and it might be different each time you go in, like A to B where you go. So I think there's a lot more variety than there is in Vermintide, which is also kind of exciting. And apart from that, it has the same feel of hordes of monsters. And I think the reason why we didn't see some enemy types, John, too, is when we played on difficulty or sedition level 3 of 5, there were more enemies, I noticed. And probably so I think when you play on easy mode, you don't get as many of the enemies.
Well, and they also did confirm it was not all enemy types in the game. That was also
that too.
I read that as well. Let me ask you this question, because when I think of 40K, I think of chainswords and I think of some melee, but I mostly think of ranged combat. And I know the game, like Vermintide, is really good at the hack and slash. But am I going to enjoy the gunplay? Because that's what I want the most, is the gunplay. What do you think?
I thought guns they felt pretty good. I mean, it's hard to judge too much because, again, there was like a gun that you got.
Yeah.
So it was the one gun I got had kind of a wide arc of fire, which seemed to exist to give purpose to the ability that narrowed it. It's one of those things where I didn't necessarily I did like the class I played. I played I don't remember the name of it.
Sharpshooter. You were the rogue sniper guy.
You're the Salt Spire of this game then, right?
I liked the class, but the main class ability seemed very like, okay, all the annoyance about the gun not being super accurate goes away, and now the gun's accurate. And I don't really love when your power-up ability makes the game play a little bit more the way you wish the game just played. But that's one gun. And there are so many enemies running at you so often that honestly, the needle accuracy when you're firing rapid fire isn't a big deal.
Doesn't matter anyway.
It still feels cool. You're still just shooting, and it captures that feel of you're getting to a point and there's a horde of enemies and you're just laying down fire to try and stop them. I think it still feels really good. There's still plenty of melee. It's not uncommon to have a huge wave and you just go through as many gunshots as you can and then switch to a sword or something and start swinging.
That was my question, actually.
Really cool.
That was my question, because can I primarily be a ranged fighter, or am I just, no matter what, everybody's going to have to melee, you like it or not? That's how the game works.
I was getting enough bullets in the game that I don't think I had a single time where I didn't have ammo.
There's a lot of ammo.
Yeah. I'm pretty willing to switch to melee. It's not a huge deal for me to switch to it. So I wouldn't say I was exclusively using guns, but even being really, heavy gun focused, I never was sitting there going, oh God, I hope I get ammo.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can do it if that's your focus, especially if you go with the shooter class. I think they get lots of abilities that give you extra ammo and extra.
The Zealot has an assault rifle, John, and it comes with your full clips, 400 bullets. It's a ton.
Oh, that's a lot.
And,
wow.
And then there's ammo everywhere to refill. So I think if you're playing one of the shooting classes, you'll have plenty of ammo. Now the Psyker, which Kyle played. So I would be walking around, and because I'm the big guy's the tank. I'm going to be up front, listening to John tell me to get out of the way because I'm in his way. This is big giant in his way. Every now and then a head would just explode like an electric burst, and it's because Kyle, the Psyker, has the ability to just pop heads psychically. It's a really neat effect.
You compared it to the boys, right? The boys, the way they pop heads.
It's like the head popper in the boys. Their heads just go and they just pop, and it's really cool to look at. It's fun.
That's
So
awesome.
the Psyker looks amazing. Kyle
Does the
was having a
Psyker
good time.
does he heal as well? Is there a healing aspect to the game or no?
So the mechanics are you have toughness and healing. So healing requires the standard med kits or med bays, but toughness you can like replenish if you're near your party members or if you get kills.
Yeah,
which is
they
it's like
don't
a
really
shield.
have a healer.
Oh, it's like a shield.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I guess Vermintide had a similar thing, right? It was like,
there's no like dedicated healer class. There might be like there's a whole talent tree that was locked that there might be a build there. I know that in Vermintide each of the classes had 3 subclasses, so it wouldn't shock me to find out there's 3 different ultimates.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the stuff wasn't in the game yet, so we didn't see that, but I saw the space where it might be.
Well, you've both made me more excited for it. I mean, I
this
played
game,
just barely and then had to leave, and I missed the window.
We're gonna have a good time as like a first taste. If it's nice and fully featured on launch, it's gonna be really good.
I sure hope the crossplay works well, because I know a lot of people, myself included, it'd be great if I just play this on Game Pass PC or wherever I'm going to play it, and we're all going to get to play together. That's what they said. So no matter where we're at, like if you guys are on PC, one of us on console, we should be able to play. I think is the deal, regardless of platform.
So. Yeah. I'm gonna pull a TMNT and make it hard.
Yeah. Never know. All right, awesome. We also all got to play and hang around Marvel Snap a little bit. I say a little bit because I've not played as much as I wanted to, but I still played a ton. I think that says good things about the game itself. But let's talk about it. I think Marvel Snap's pretty freaking good. My 2 main reasons are I like Marvel things. I like art and animation that pops, and I like quick games. I really like the six stage thing. You do it and you're out. And if I don't want to play very long, I don't have to. Unlike Hearthstone, which can sometimes, depending on the game, can be very huge commitment.
Yeah, you get matched up against a priest and you're there for 40 minutes.
Yeah. Sure. How would you guys describe this though in terms of the game is not Hearthstone like at all? There's very little in common there, other than it's cards.
It has it has kind of almost like a heads up poker element to it. Is the best. I don't know if you're familiar with
heads up poker. No, I don't know.
Heads up poker is basically no limit hold'em against one other person. So not a whole table of people. It's just you and one other person, and you have hidden information. You're trying to bait people into trying to bait people into and maybe investing in one area, then having a trump card that wins, and then you're gambling with the cube. Have you gotten as far as where you gamble for your rank points?
Yes, some of that.
You're, when you think you're ahead, you bet. You're basically betting. So it's there's a lot to the game that makes it really fun, and I think it's clever that they tied it to the ranking system, or the progression through ranks. Like that's actually a really clever way of as a skill being able to mitigate your losses or advance your things. And I think every season you get pushed down the rank ladder to a certain tier, so then you have something to work towards with every new season to climb up. The game, like a lot of interesting design decisions that are working really well in this game. I agree. I've been addicted. I'm at collection level 137.
Oh, you're way past me then. But I'm doing all right. I just got Wolverine. I know John did right before the show. There's a real it's a game where you can go buy currencies and do a bunch of stuff, but I kind of like how it's monetized. We'll get to the multiple currencies thing in a second, because I know we want to have that discussion, but for me it just becomes very plain. It's like, oh, I've got 50 of these shard things, and it says that's how much it's going to cost me to take Widowmaker to her frameless mode, where it removes the frame and the character actually pops out of the card. And then, boy howdy, if I save up enough, I can eventually get her 3D card. And that's, it's all about that. I kind of like that.
So, I mean, I don't know if you want to get into it, but there are definitely freemium traps in this game, for sure.
There definitely are. But you describe them so people know, because I think that's helpful.
Well, and this is... John, I saw your tweet response to Scott being like, I feel like I'm in a dystopian cyberpunk marketplace outside of the game that I hate. It really made me laugh. So I'm like, accurate.
Yeah.
The game itself, great. The game outside of it, oh man, they have made it very complicated to intentionally obfuscate and make you buy things and make bad decisions with what they give you. So the key thing here is that cosmetics are tied to you getting the cards you need. You can't buy packs. You just earn cards. How do you earn the cards? By upgrading the cosmetics of your cards. So they've tied cosmetics into progression, sort of, if you want all of the options, right? So it's only a 10 or 11 card deck. So you don't, or something, maybe 12, I don't know. But
I think it's 10.
You don't need a ton of cards. But as you climb up the ladder, people get better decks. You're looking for better cards. So here's how it works. In order to get any cards,
12.
You have to raise your collection level. How do you do that? You upgrade a card's cosmetics. How do you do that? First of all, you need boosters, which is XP for the card. So let's say it's Iron Man. You need experience points. They call it boosters. The variants, the different arts, are considered different cards, and they share an experience pool. So you can use, if you have 5 XP and 2 different Iron Man cards, you can use it in either or.
They both get it. Yeah.
The other thing you need is credits. Credits are essentially where you're going to hit the ding desert, as I have. Right now, the game's hot and heavy, throwing tons of credits your way and gold to buy more credits. Essentially, you have to spend to get to gray to green 25 credits and 5 boosters. That will give you what is it? Frame break to the green.
Frame break.
And that gives you one notch, one level collection level. So every collection level, you either unlock something, and it periodically, like every 2 levels, milestones, you get a card, and you add that card to your collection. Then you got a new card that you can frame break. So you keep repeating this process. It is essential for you to upgrade the visual look of your cards in order to get more of the cards. And this goes on for, I think, there's different card pools, but there's 400 collection level up to 450 or something. So the cards are not completely random as you get them. There are card pools. You have a starter set, then you have the recruit set, and these are small pools you get as the new player experience. Then you have card pools 1, 2, and 3, and it's basically just gradually introducing you to all the cards. But in order to get them, you've got to upgrade the cosmetics. Now, eventually what happens is the credits start to run dry, and you have the option to pay real money to get more credits or wait for your daily quests.
Yeah.
Or get stuff through your season pass, but that all dries up too. So eventually you're going to get to a point where, like, well, I want more cards, not cosmetics. To speed that up, you're able to buy it. So for example, in the store, there's a little section where it offers you to upgrade your cards just straight up. Don't do that. It's a more expensive way to upgrade your cards. You can just do that by leveling up, getting boosters. So that's your first trap. First trap is you are losing credits value by spending more credits to buy basically the XP instead of playing for it. The other thing is that upgrading from gray, frame breaking from gray to green gives you 25, costs 25 credits, and you get a collection level. But every other level, so going to 3D and going to animated and whatever the other 2 are, costs progressively more, but basically the credit cost per level is 50 instead of 25.
Okay.
So your best value for leveling is to get all your grays to greens.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now the other thing is you earn experience by the number of rounds that you're in a match. So if you're in 6 rounds, let's say, you'll get 6 XP on a random card. It could be any card that's in your deck. It has to be in your deck. The exception is you have a greater chance of upgrading a gray or a green. So if you actually put all purples and blues, like the 3D animated stuff, and 1 gray, let's say, you can focus on leveling up that specific card, because most likely it will get it, not 100%.
No.
And this is how you ideally get the most bang for your buck on credits, because where I'm at right now, I am low, and I'm getting to the point where I'm going to be starting to, like, I don't have credits to upgrade anything. All that to say is you probably should be choosy about which cards you upgrade to blue and purple, because it's going to slow down your collection. And then don't upgrade them in the store. Just don't do it.
Well,
so that's what I mean. We're getting to the freemium thing, and I'm like, there's a lot of traps here. if you're trying to not spend as much money as possible on how to do these things, and it doesn't explain it to you very well at all.
Well, I put together some, or I did some searching today and found a really great link with some starter decks for people. I know it's not quite the same what we're talking about, but if you're looking for like, hey, I don't even know how to get into this thing, really good deck list there. I found that just me building out stuff intuitively is winning a lot of games. So I don't know what that means. I've had a couple people say, anytime you ever say, oh, I'm sure winning a lot of these games, their first thing out of their mouth is, well, those are bots. You're playing bots. I don't think I'm playing bots.
People... the first like 10 or 12 matches are bots. Like they literally, I've streamed some of it. There's literally a match that teaches you how to use the cube and death, and they make it seem like it's a match. They don't tell you, hey, this is a bot match. They do the shitty freemium thing of being opaque about it instead of being transparent about it.
Yeah, I wish they were transparent. Although I could tell because obviously we were pausing in places that weren't right. I'm like, oh, these are bot matches. Okay, that makes sense. I'm still learning.
There were several matches where they've invested heavily and are winning hard in the lane, and then they play their Hulk, and I'm like, there's no human on Earth where I'm at 0 and they're at 16 gonna play Hulk there. This is a bot.
Yeah, there've been some very debatable. Like if I've had so many moments ago, and this has to be a bot because, like, clearly this is a person who didn't sit through the tutorial. Like they don't know. They're losing at 2 locations, and then they play a card at the location that they're winning at, and it's like nobody does this. Nobody does this. But then, you know, you get somebody where you're playing against Dr. Bung, and you're like, okay, they probably didn't make a bot named Dr. Bung.
Basically, once your rank is, I think once you've at least cleared like 12 or 15, maybe even 12 is enough, or 11, then for sure you're not playing against bots anymore, probably. Like the play I've seen higher than that gets better, but the new player experience is full of bots up until about rank 12 or 13.
Yeah, I felt like it's changed for me when they said they gave me a iron something rank.
Yeah, when you reach iron rank and can start using the cube, then I think
then you're
bots,
good. Yeah.
But maybe the bots get better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been in bronze now for a little bit, and I'm still seeing occasionally some very questionable decisions, but at least now it's more questionable in a way of like, well, that didn't seem like a smart move, but at least I can understand why somebody would have thought it could have been.
Yeah.
Instead of just going like, what does this person think?
Yeah, and they can't all be dumb noobs, right? So that especially as you raise in the ranks, and if you're hitting bots still that make bad decisions, I just think they should be, speaking of things game companies should do, this sort of stuff should be very transparent. I don't think you should ever, if you're going to have us play bots in, I don't care, mobile Fortnite, which happens when you start playing that game, just tell me. It's fine. I don't mind, and I don't mind knowing how long it'll be. Is it going to be 20 matches? All right, fine. I'll burn through those. Just say it. And then
it's a trust issue.
Yeah, it's a trust issue. I don't like it.
It's a trust issue. I feel like it doesn't feel, I don't feel you're being trustworthy if you're not declaring whether it's a human or a bot.
Well, and
I'm not here to help you pass your Turing test.
Right.
Yeah, like even from that perspective, like just to me, like it's like you guys said, the first time you say, oh yeah, I played Fortnite, I got a victory royale, immediately it was bots. It was bots. You didn't win. You got bots.
Yeah.
Like it would be nice to be able to be like, no, it wasn't, because they tell you when it's bots. You know what I mean? Like I just want to shut people up that immediately start yelling bots the second you start saying something like that's what I want. Forget the like ethics side of it, which is also important, but I just want people to not get the smug little like, you go, well, yeah, I had a really good night in Fortnite, and somebody just going, bots.
Yeah,
you're playing bots.
Yeah, they get to just slap that on everything because you've kind of made them. You gave them the key. All right, so it's your fault,
like,
industry.
It's like, well, I've been playing the game for 5 years. I don't think it was. No, it's bots because you just came back. It's bots.
Yeah, screw those guys. I hate that.
Yeah, I guess it was.
It only ever comes up when the play looks definitely super questionable. I'm like,
yeah, but then it makes you wonder, and then now you're wondering. I hate that.
Yeah, I just want to know.
Yeah, you
and
got clearly enough people
I
are
will
playing
say
it.
this, like Marvel Snap. It's not that they're upfront about it but there are times where it's like, okay, you're playing against death and their avatar is death. And you're like, okay, they took the name Death. Their icon is Death. And then it's clearly a tutorialized match.
Yeah.
about how to retreat if you're going to lose a game.
Sure.
All these things point to a bot. Like, there's a lot of logic you can draw to that assumption, but like, it just shouldn't be muddy. The water shouldn't be muddy on this. They should have to tell you.
The fact that they aren't telling you tells me that they have to use it in other situations where there's maybe an MMR discrepancy or something weird going on, and they may have to have a higher level player play a bot just to get through a rank, or I don't know what.
It says here, Marvel Snap Discord says there are bots all the way through the whole game. Cigarette says, so when player populations are low, it guarantees you a match.
Okay, but they're not low. They're...
This is mobile, because Fortnite had these accusations. Like, I think for whatever reason, mobile game developers feel it's okay to throw bots into a match and not tell anyone because they don't respect the player base like they do in PC. And I feel like, again, it's a trust issue.
I don't even mind putting bots in the game. I just want to know.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like, my issue isn't that they do it.
Know.
I just want to know that it's bots.
That's all I care about, actually. The rest of it's fine. Unless your game is just, if it's nothing but AI matches and I find that out, which is what they don't want me to find out, that would really annoy me. So I wouldn't play your game.
It feels like, because like when you know something is a bot, like, because you see like, oh man, I'm good at this game. Like, I had it, like, remember Catalyst Black? I was just like, I'm owning every match. I must be like so good at this. And then it's like, no, someone was lying to you to make you feel better. Like, I don't want that. I don't surround myself with yes men in my life to tell me every decision I'm making is good. In fact, I like the people that are honest with me, even if it's not what I want to hear.
Agreed.
Those are the people I try to surround myself with. So like when I play a game with bots in it, I feel like, I'm being masturbated or something. Like I'm like, just give me the harsh truth. There's nobody playing, or people are better than me. When I win, I want to feel like I won. Like I'm interested in playing against other people. Stop this. Like,
it's madness.
It's gross.
It's madness.
It's gross. Like, I hate it. So I like the game a lot, but they should label it. That's my opinion.
Agreed. Anyway, it's very good. Marvel Snap is great. I think we'll probably talk about it on and off moving forward. But
we have one more thing to talk about, because I made John wait. So John, please, I open the floor to you, and this one criticism that I feel like should be shouted out to the rafters.
Give it to us.
Yeah, I will be clear, because typically I don't like mobile games. I like this game. I was late coming back from the break because I thought these matches are fast. I can play a match in Marvel Snap before I have to be back. They're fast. They're not that fast though. But I'm in. I'm having a good time with it, and I know I'm supposed to hate all mobile games, but I'm at collection rank, I think 93. Something like that.
No, this does a lot right.
90,
it's like
95.
You're willing to grit and bear the bad stuff for the good, but
that said, I stand by my feeling that like this UI is just madness. Like this game looks like mobile trash, which is unfortunate because it isn't mobile trash. But it looks like it.
You're talking menus and how to launch the thing, and
menus and how it looks, and like getting a notification saying that like you need to click here in the store. There's a notification for you in the store, and you go to the store and you're like, there's no notification here, and you leave. Hey, there's a notification in the store. Where? And because I was streaming it, someone pointed out, they said, oh, you have free currency that you can collect in the store. And I went, where?
I found it by accident.
I scrolled through and I'm like, where is it? And they're like, it says free. And my eyes have gotten so used to mobile store garbage and trying to tune it out that I went through it multiple times going, I don't see this. Where is it?
Sounds like a fun stream.
and then finally going, oh, I see it. And like that finally got rid of the notification. It's just messy. And I did say it was like going through the shopping district in a dystopian cyberpunk future, and that's what it feels like. And honestly, it's a miracle I gave the game the time it deserved to even find out that it was a good game. It's a testament to how much I like the art and like the gameplay and how good I think it is on that front, because I was incredibly off-put by the menus and the notifications and the store and all of that to a degree. I have this thing. Oh, I know what you're getting at. Sorry, we'll get to it. Hold on.
Yeah. I feel like I queued you up, but I'm still waiting for the.
Yeah, sorry. I just realized what you queued me up for. Let me get through this and then we'll get to that.
Go.
But it's one of those things where it feels like a carnival barker. Like they try and get you with all the flash and flare, and they're distracting you with all these things, and you just know in your heart you're being conned somehow. And you like before you've even engaged in anything. And I get that feeling, and when I get that feeling, I walk away, which would be a shame because I think this game's genuinely very good. And I think I don't think it's one of those games that is as aggressively going after your money as some. Again, Bo has pointed out that there are some things in there, but I think the experience it gives you for free or for even like a minimum pay-in is good and is acceptable. But it feels like it's trying to get more out of me, and that nearly scared me away.
I think it's a slick package.
Yeah.
But the thing Bo wants me to talk about, and we got to talk about this because we talked about it on the pre-show, even though we weren't supposed to.
I made you wait, so now I want to hear it.
Wait.
Now's the time.
We got to talk about that music because honestly, I feel like right now I am in the middle. Scott told me before the show that he loved the music. Bo told me he hated the music. I'm in this weird place.
In game is fine. In game it's okay.
I hear it and I go, I don't like this music. What is this music that's playing? But when I turn it off and I play the game on silent, I don't like it. And I'm like, I need that music back. Turn it back on. I need the bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Like I just need to hear it as I'm going through it.
No, but it's
I hate it, but I also need it, and I don't know what that.
All right, let me play it so we can hear some of it. Okay,
the menu music.
This is the menu music right here. I'll play that,
please.
Whoops, hold on. I dig it.
No, this is terrible.
I completely disagree.
It's good for the first 20 seconds, but after I've heard it for 2 hours, I want to jump off. That balcony.
But that's only menu music. You still have hold on.
It has 2 songs, and they sound
terrible,
the same.
And the quality of the instruments, it sounds like music. Like it's like Hearthstone has beautiful music. No matter where I am in Hearthstone, I'm happy to be listening to that music. That song is garbage. Like, wrap it up in oil-soaked cloth, light it on fire, put it into a cannon, shoot it into outer space, and fire a bunch of lasers after it to make sure it never, ever comes back.
Genuinely surprised by this. I don't know what to
But don't do that because I need it.
You need it.
No, just make a new song. Make a new song. Make a better song. Get somebody, open up that wallet of money you have now and hire and go get Russell Brower or somebody of talent to make you something actually good.
Well, here's your game. Here's your victory gameplay. Let's see if you like this or not. Okay. You know, it's a little GoldenEye vibe to it.
It does sound like GoldenEye.
They could do better, but in-game is not that bad. In-game is not that bad. It's the menu music that is just gouge my eyes out.
See,
terrible.
I'm the other way. The music where it grates on me the most is in-game in the combat. I don't know what I expect there, but I don't like it in combat at all.
How do you feel about the?
It could be better in combat too.
They have shop music. Let's hear what the shop music is. Buy 15 currencies, buy more currencies, and spend more money. $99 is the best value. That's in there, of course.
This all sounds like the just don't pay attention background music of like Ninja Turtles, like they're just tromping through the sewer. And this is just what's going on in the background.
They could do so much better. I mean, they could even use the Avengers, like the MCU soundtrack, please, or something. Like,
I'm surprised they didn't. I thought they would.
That. Like I mean, like just when I open up Snap, it should be dun 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 dun, and I'd be like, yeah, son, I'm about to play MCU the game. Like,
which movie was that? I want to know what you did earlier. What was the song you just did before that? It was
the MCU, the Marvel startup.
Gotcha.
You know, remember
that one?
You know, like that stuff. Give me that.
I know what you're talking about, but
damn, like license your shit out. Like help your Marvel. take your music and help the game companies out, please. Like,
Okay.
holy
Yeah,
crap,
you
what's
should
wrong
be
with you
able
people?
to. You should be able to pick music. Like they put more stuff in the game. Like I should be able to get the old bad Spider-Man theme if I want to listen to that while I'm playing.
You know what it reminds me of?
Yeah, this could be way better, guys. Like, set your bars a little higher. Let's go.
What it
should be
reminds
like-
me of, this music, and maybe this will ward. Yes, it's just like it. This is like the spy sounding music in Invisible Ink. It's very similar.
This is the song I don't like.
Yeah,
I wonder if that would ruin you on Invisible Ink.
I don't like it at all.
Yo,
Here's what
play
I want.
Marvel
As
Snap,
annoying as
or
it
I'm
would
gonna
be,
take my hand and give you a slap.
I dig it. I like it.
I want every single time they flip a card over to play the little, like, here's a new character from a Marvel movie and a cameo, like the dun dun dun. Every time they flip over a character, I want that stinger to play.
Well, who knows? Maybe it'll come with it. But I guess what you're saying is, without music, things get real silent on the playboard. Is that what you're saying?
I don't see, but that's the thing, is I miss the music too. As much as I hate it, I miss the music when it's gone. If I have it on quiet.
Yeah, and like I noticed the in-game music, they do have music cues. Like the music will change when the first card is played. It'll be really like, ooh, like they do some interesting stuff with the music that unless you're paying attention to it, you don't hear it. Like they just need better music. Like I don't want to hear. It just sounds like elevator music. It's a ding, 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 ding. Bye,
I
credits.
like what happens when you play Uatu. It sounds cool. It all gets weirdly quiet and echoey.
Yeah, that stuff's fine. Like I think most of it's fine. The quality of the music should be 1,000 times better.
All right. That's weird. It's weird how much I disagree. I'm just glad it's not so samey with Marvel stuff. That actually that's what I wanted. I didn't want to hear. I've heard all that. I can hear the Avengers lead up and it's all good and stuff. But I'm just give me something new.
Well, even if it's new stuff, they can still do better than this.
I played Spider-Man. Bum, 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 bum. I want that every time a card flips over.
All right, not bad. I do love that you can hold certain cards, not all of them, but most of them, and the card will do the thing the character's famous for. Like Punisher just starts shooting all over the place. Hold up, Cyclops shoots big old beam out until you put him down. Like it's just cosmetic, and I appreciate it. None of us are just that UI stuff John's talking about. Totally agree. That needs huge improvement. But when you're in the game space, that's all beautiful.
Yeah,
wonderful
that's
in there.
good.
Yeah.
And the art on the cards is so good.
I wouldn't say no to new backgrounds.
Oh, to the
that'd be nice. That would be nice.
The Hearthstone has new backgrounds. I wouldn't say no to like some variety on the background.
It'd be cool if they divided it, and maybe they'll do stuff like this. Like I'm very hopeful for the PC version. I don't think I should be, because right now there's a beta, which is literally just it plays the mobile version.
I can play it on an M1 Mac,
Steam.
but you're right. You have to. The only thing is to opt into that beta test thing right now on Steam.
My hope is that they go all out, because what I'd like to see is when locations form, like have cool like 3D-ified backgrounds in that segment of it, which really doesn't work great on a phone, but it would look pretty cool on like a desktop mode. I hope the desktop mode solves some of my gripes about UI and stuff like that.
I will say the desktop mode in its current state, John, it's like a crappy version of the mobile.
Oh no,
one.
I played it.
Yeah,
it is literally just an emulation of the mobile thing.
Yeah, it needs work. It's not pleasant.
They claim they're going to make
good.
a widescreen and do all kinds of work on it, so we'll see.
Yeah, but at least it does work on some level. So there's that. I like the game with all the complaining. It's because hey, the game's actually like really fun. So
I want to play it right now while we're
me too.
podcasting,
Yeah.
and you guys are about to talk about Overwatch. So
Perfect time to get a match in, John.
Yeah,
Let's see if you can do it. Actually, let's test this. So Overwatch 2, Bo and I played a ton of it. I'm completely hooked on Overwatch again. Overwatch 2 has got me under its thumb pretty hard.
We got to solve our competitive woes. We lose a lot.
Yeah,
but,
we lost a lot of games that day. I mean, also the more we added people, the longer the queues were, and I don't know how that works with their current MMR setup, but something was funky there.
Yeah, it's a little strange when we start to get into groups. I don't know the logic anymore.
Yeah, maybe that susses itself out over time. But for when I'm in there just playing a couple of games during the day or something, I'm winning more than I lose. I'm having a blast. I like support. I like the changes. The 5-man role pick stuff is great, where someone is a tank, two healers, two DPS dealers, and that's it. And that's how it is. And they can change their characters in their own pool, their class pool, but they can't, be like old school. There is a way to play that in the arcade mode, but this new standard way of playing both quick matches as well as competitive are really doing it for me. And I just like how those matches feel. They don't feel as quick. I don't feel like I'm responding every 5 seconds. I feel like I'm really into some battles and staying there longer, and when I'm playing support, really helping my team, and it just feels really good. I don't know, man. I think Overwatch 2 is pretty great. Just,
I'm hooked on it. Yeah, I'm hooked on it as much as I am Snap. My days are now filled with Overwatch and Snap.
At least you can
play every day.
At least you can walk away from one and do something totally different. Those are two good games to have going at once, I guess. But anything else you want to say about it? I mean, we've had nothing but we finally played a bunch of games.
A lot. I don't have anything new to say. I don't know how long I'll play for, but I've been enjoying playing the competitive mode and trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I kind of have a little bit of rank desire, and I don't usually care about that. I probably won't even be great, but I kind of want to do it.
It's been a while since I played any sporty type game, and it's just the production value's there. It's great, and I'm kind of looking forward to more content down the line.
Yeah.
They're going to do the single player, so
and
we'll probably hear more about that game, but there's nothing really new and earth shattering to say this.
No, and we talked last week a bunch about just structurally how things work and the way the battle pass works versus the old loot box method and all that. So we won't get into all that, but it's a game that's got under. Sometimes a game gets under your skin and you didn't quite expect it to, and this one did hard. So we played like 5 hours yesterday, me and Bo, and I think that's half the reason my back got thrown out because I was sitting. No, it's not your fault, but I just sat there for so long. And then I went and moved something, and it went ding, and then I knew what was going on, and then it was like
that's why we got the painkillers or the muscle relaxers today.
I know. Right now, I feel like Jabba the Hutt right now, just kind of like I'm melting a little bit. It's very weird.
It's kind of a good feeling. Though.
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't have to eat toads and kill dancer girls either. Twilight dancers. All right. Finally, now let's get to the games we individually played. So listen to this, you guys. This is cool. I got a little theme to play. You heard about it earlier. Here you go. Right here. Where'd it go?
Work harder.
All right. Chore Core games I played this week. One, and it's called The Mortuary Assistant. And some of you...
I just finished my game. I wanted to compare it to how long Overwatch took.
You were almost exactly there.
Now, I did have to launch the game, and that took a little bit, so I think it took exactly as long to play a Marvel Snap game as it did to talk about Overwatch.
And so, Chad, you'll have to... We didn't pay attention, so we don't know how long that was. So if anybody out there was keeping score...
we didn't time it, so...
We have no idea. I could go look later, but...
No, I just mean that they can put that on the box now for this mobile game, is they can say rounds last as long as Overwatch 2 discussion.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. I think that will be some real, and they have connections to Blizzard, all ex-Blizzard guys. It'll all work out. Okay. The Mortuary Assistant is scary as hell. I want to thank Tweep again publicly for gifting it to me. This was a game I was going to play with John. I still plan to, but the other day I was like, let's just crack that open and see if I'm even going to do it. Like, is this game enough, or am I going to be too scared, not scared enough? Like, I just kind of wanted to see. So, plus I was testing a new streaming thing. Anyway, I got in and I played an hour and a half or something. It's scary. It's full of scary shit. It's exactly what you think it's going to be. It's also profoundly frustrating, and I have a feeling the game means to be. And by that, I just mean this. It's chorecore in the sense that you're going to a mortuary and you're trying to work on dead bodies and do all the stuff you got to do. And it's all very macabre and gross and everything. But it's very step by step. You have limited inventory. It's like empty out the embalmer thing, clean it out. Okay, fill it back up with embalming fluid, plus those 3 other chemicals you need. Now plug it into the neck of the dead guy and cut him open and with the thing. Oh, shoot, I don't have those. Where are they? They're in that drawer over there. Like, there's a lot of this weird busy work, but I think they do that on purpose, because while you're doing it, you'll be like, I need those scissors again, and you'll turn and there's somebody there standing there going, and then they're gone. Or you're like, shoot, where are the wipes? I gotta wipe down her face. And you open a drawer and then you hear a voice go, be my friend, whatever, somewhere in some other room. So I think they want me frustrated and looking around for stuff so that the game can then script in these moments of scaring me, and it does a pretty good job of it. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I watched your highlight reel
Yeah.
of it, and I liked your reaction when you discovered that the next dead body you needed to work on was a clown.
I was so pissed. I was pissed because at that stage I was getting really freaked out, and the stuff I cut out of the highlight video, which is up on YouTube, if anyone wants to see it. It's only 7 minutes long, but the reason it's so short is because there are tons of moments of me digging through drawers, looking for things. Where's the clipboard? Did the guy tell me before he left where the clipboard was? This freaking Eric Roberts looking ass butthole that leaves me there.
Look exactly like Eric Roberts. You're not wrong.
Oh, it just was irritating, but it was fun, and I think I am gonna finish it. I got to get with John on when we're gonna do it, but I think, it's going somewhere, and I kind of want to see the story through. That's the part I didn't expect. As I guess there's a cohesive story you're aiming for here. It isn't just a roguelike type sim where you're just cleaning out bodies and do the next one, do the next one. It's not that. It would be a very different game, I think. But
by all accounts, it's pretty short, so I think we would only need a session or two, depending on how much time we set aside. But I've heard
better.
It's a pretty short game.
Even better, because I've had it with like old lady, 89-year-old naked, dead, blue-skinned ladies who sit up and talk to me. I don't want to do that for very much longer. Anyway, so there's that. Nier Automata got a lot of playtime for me this week. Quick mention, not much to say. We've talked about that game before, but it's really good on Steam Deck, which is where I'm playing it primarily. And I'm going to say a controversial statement that John will love to bounce around and figure out a response for.
Okay.
Nier Automata. I can't speak to the other Nier game or the one before it that inspired it all. I can't remember the name of that. They just did a remaster of the one that's before this one.
Replicant?
Replicant's the one before. Replicant's the one they just remastered, but technically is a prequel to.
Are you talking about Drakengard?
Yes.
Drakengard 3?
Yes. Never played any of that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's just tenuously connected. But if I had to pick one, this is a hard thing for me because I really struggled. But if I had to pick one game from Square Enix that I think is my favorite that isn't mainline Final Fantasy or... See, I really like the Deus Ex games, so this is hard to say.
They've got Square Enix, even though they're pretty down on their own products half the time, has a really good library of games.
You know what? I'll say everything Japan related. I think my favorite stuff that was not Western Studios, right? And things that didn't just sell off.
But that doesn't include Final Fantasies now.
Well,
or that would include.
That's
you
true.
Still need a caveat.
You're right. I don't know. You know what? We'll leave Final Fantasy as its own thing. It can go sit over there and do whatever it does.
Okay.
But the Nier games, in particular Automata, I think is one of my favorite things they ever made over there. I really like that game. I don't know why I didn't beat it the first time through, so I'm going to keep playing that. It's really good. That's been my bedtime thing until damn Marvel Snap came and got in my way. And then finally, I even have a sound for this. Listen to this new thing. Where is it? I lost it. Oh, shit. Is it this?
Work harder!
No. Oh, you know what? I didn't do it. I didn't put it in here. Never mind. Forget it. Anyway, it's an indie game. And I played an indie this week, and I decided to call that Vampire Survivors 1.0. Not much else to say here. Again, we've talked about it a million times. John is really the master of this game anyway. I come to it casually. But when I heard they hit 1.0, I was like, let's go in there and see what this new engine looks like. And, there was all that talk.
Yeah, it looks a lot like the old one. The art has changed, though.
A little bit.
If you were like me and you were playing every patch, you've noticed the change, but it's still rooted in what it was.
And it's still everything you think it is, and it's still very good. And the loop is super addicting. And before I know it, I'm sitting there 20 minutes later just trying to push a 20-minuter and going, oh my gosh, the show starts in like in half an hour. What am I doing? So anyway, Vampire Survivors now out on sale right now for $4. If you want to save money and not pay the full $5 it's $3.99. Yeah, $4 right now. It'll be $6 when it's out of sale. Finally, that's it for me. Let's move on to John. John, you played more Fortnite. How's that going?
I did. Guys, I really like Fortnite. Man. I hate to say it, but I really like Fortnite, and it has only gotten better because it has turned into a family game. Like, that was the thing. It's been weird to be in my household where everybody kind of likes video games, but nobody plays the same thing. The kids like Roblox. I like video games that are good. And my wife typically just doesn't have time for any of it, but it, is interested. And now we have a game that, because of the way crossplay works and because it is a shared interest, we can all play together. So, I was doing trios with the kids. I was doing duos last night, my wife and I, which was a really great run. And before everybody just gets in and yells bots, we got 3 victory royales in a row last night. Because I think that there was something going on with the matchmaking on her being brand new and on the Switch. And I think they were having me on the PC go up against a bunch of Nintendo Switch players.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that was not fair for them. And there were a lot of, if those weren't bots and those were people, there were a lot of sad children in the realm of Fortnite other night, because let me tell you, they got smoked really badly. But it was a great time, and it's just nice to have something, we don't all have to be on the same console. Like, we can have the, kids on Xboxes and my wife on the Switch and me on the PC, and it all just works, and it works really well. And it's fun. It's a ridiculous game that is a mishmash of every licensed property they can get their hands on. I was singing Get Swifty the other day from Rick and Morty before a match when I got really arrogant about how much I was schooling Switch kids. It's dumb, but it's a lot of fun.
You could tell me you're playing the worst game on the planet, and I'd still be happy for you, because family games are the best. I don't care what game it is. Like, it is the best thing. For us, it was WoW, then Diablo. For my kids when they were of age to play video games like that. Today, we still, when Overwatch first came out, we were all playing that together.
Well, you're training them. Give it 5 years and they'll be killing your trash for you while
Well, they're still
in a dungeon.
Yeah,
they're still young. Like, you're training them. Like, I would look at it as like, Fortnite. I'm like, I don't like this game, but it's fun with family. But eventually,
but that's the thing, is I even have to say that I like the game. I play by myself. Like, I
know you do.
I'm saying
for me.
Once the no build mode popped in, like, that's where it got me. Because I do hate I used to always complain, you shoot somebody and a castle explodes out of them the second you hit them. It's just so stupid. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
But playing the no build mode has been genuinely fun. It has gotten me actually pretty decent at the game, to where I can, hold my own and actually fights and stuff like that. And, we played a lot of Battle Royale games.
We did.
We played PUBG. We played what was the other one? What was the other big one we played?
Session.
Apex Legends.
I got there. You didn't say it, but you said enough of it to get me to remember it.
What's wrong with us?
All I needed to and I was like, yeah, that's it.
That's the one.
So, I mean, it's a genre that we've all had a good time with, and we've all laughed and played in. And I think, honestly, the building really turned me off of Fortnite, and with it out, I think it is easily the most fun one of those that I have played.
Yeah.
So it's pretty impressive how much it won me over, because I certainly didn't go into it looking to have a good time.
Right.
I expected it to be pretty bad, but now I'm enjoying the events. They're doing a Halloween event right now, which turns you into a werewolf, and that's a good time.
Yeah.
Lets you right click and you can hunt the scent of other players and slash them and stuff, and it's ridiculous and it's great.
All right.
And it's a good time. And yeah, other than that, the only other things I played was things you all played. So
yeah,
that was my week.
You wanted to give a quick thanks, shout out to somebody here.
Oh, right. I didn't have the notes up in front of me. I should have, because this was here to remind me. So I did not get to play it. I got it while I was still in my podcasting marathon today. So I haven't played it yet, but Necrosmith is a game that was gifted to me from a listener named Dead Center. And I just wanted to give a thank you. I promise I will have played it by the next time we convene, so I'll give thoughts on it. I actually don't know much about it, because all I really had time for was to go, oh, that's nice, somebody gifted me a game, and add it to my library. So I'm going to check this out. It looks like it is
$3. Oh my gosh, look at this.
It's a roguelike? It looks like it's a Vampire Survivor.
Sort of. It says a necromancer simulator. Assemble the dead using different body parts while upgrading their tower, or your tower. Combine the abilities of the different fantastic races to fight your way through the hordes of enemies and overrun the chosen ones. To tell the truth, the dead are pretty dumb, it says. This is reviewed really well. Seems like it's good.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll let you guys know what I think of it next week. So, but I wanted to give a thank you to them while they did it rather than make them wait a week. So,
yeah,
much appreciated, and I will give it a go.
I might have to buy this. It's only $3.
Yeah.
All right. Best advertisement is a $3 game. All right. Let's move on to I forgot to mention two quick things about Overwatch. Torbjorn and Bastion are out of the game right now in competitive.
Snap.
Don't worry about it. This will be quick. They return to Overwatch next week on the 27th, along with Junkertown, which was also taken out of rotation for bugs or exploits, and all of that stuff's coming back. So there was that. All right, now
Bastion's coming back next week.
Yeah, Bastion and Torbjorn Torbjorn's back in quick match, but he'll be back for competitive as well. So both of them will be back in everything, and then that map that went missing will be back. The one thing I've been wanting to hear the most about today is literally Bo's other game that he played. Even though he really only played a tutorial. Bo, tell me about Crusader Kings 3 and how I can penetrate this bastard.
Yeah, this is I feel like he's about to explain a road I want to walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
John's cracking up.
Yep.
Yeah, you got some internet stuff.
Listen.
That's weird.
It's all
No, I'm saying, John, your voice is cracking up. So most of what you said.
It's like it sounds like Wi-Fi lag. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Somebody there's probably watching Bluey or who knows what they're doing.
It wasn't really bad. Like you were definitely intelligible, but that last sentence was like, No,
that's what I said.
Oh,
okay. That's what I said.
That makes
all
sense
right.
now.
So that we don't drag out the show any longer than it needs to be, let me just get to it. So I've been wanting to play this for a while. I've just rewatched Game of Thrones seasons 1 through 8, and I have this is a big interest in just like the fantasy. Like I like the fantasy world of houses and the medievalness of it. It's not like, there's dragons and undead, but it's the politics, the intrigue, the lying, all that stuff having to do with the Game of Thrones itself, the literal game. So I needed something to scratch my itch. I wasn't ready to finish watching Game of Thrones. I've watched all House of the Dragon. I'm like, maybe I'll read the book. I'm like, Crusader Kings 2, that's about like, marriages and power and poisoning people and incest and all that great stuff. I was like, let me play this game. And so I bought Crusader Kings 3 and all its expansions so far. I'm sure it's going to have more, but like there's a bundle you can buy. And I was like, I just wanted to check it out. So I'm like, all right, there's a tutorial. Let me do the tutorial. You play as an Irish tribal lord of some kind. Okay. It's not that complicated. We all get kings and queens. We all get stuff. But there's things to know. I have to learn about what Cassius Belli means, which is a cause for war. You can't declare war unless you have a cause for it. And, there's different types of fiefdoms and tribal lands, and then empires, and then there's rules. This game is dense, and it has a system where you can highlight something. It's really well documented. If you highlight something, there's a tooltip. But guess what? Inside that tooltip is a hyperlink text to a nested tooltip, a second tooltip. And in that second tooltip, there are other hyperlinks to a third tooltip. I got so deep into tooltips, I was back in a circle to a tooltip that I originally did 15 levels ago. This game is insane. So I'm like doing the tutorial, but all I'm doing is like, what does de jure mean? Okay, what does it mean when you have a small hook on someone? So a small hook means that they're cheating on their king, and you're keeping it a secret, but you can call in a favor. Yeah. And then there's an actual hook where you can be like, I know you had your brother killed. And because of that, when it's time to declare war, you're going to declare with me. So I haven't really gotten to the game yet. I'm just understanding how this whole Game of Thrones works. And I had a good time. I was like, because it's not like rocket science. It's not Dyson Sphere program where you're like, how does the energy sun generator work and how many products do you... It's all kind of stuff that you're like, okay, intuitively I know it. I just have to understand how it works in this game. The impression I'm getting is that This isn't a game like Civ. You have to win, right? There's
Right.
victory points.
Victory.
So
conditions.
this game, you don't have to win. This isn't about winning at all. This is about enjoying the journey. Now, I think you can define winning as maybe making the whole world your empire. Why not? I haven't played it yet, but generally speaking, you have a family, and the only way you lose is if you have no heirs or nobody left in the family. If the whole family dies out, you're done.
Yeah.
So,
no
you know, make
heirs
sure
or
you get
heirs,
married, make sure you have kids, because as soon as your character dies, you take over the next ruler in line, essentially.
Right.
So, so the way it was sort of described is just enjoy the journey of the power you get, or maybe the power you lose. The Game of Thrones, right? Like, not everyone makes it to be king or whatever. So that's how it was set up. And I see the mechanics. There's intrigue. There's you have to deal with your family members. You have different traits, and those traits, you know, like in Sims, where if you're a vivacious guy, you'll like other vivacious monarchs. Well, in this one, if you're authoritarian, other authoritarian rulers will work with you more kindly. Like you have a bunch of relationship points, and apparently, because there's like hundreds of territories, and these all have families and giant family tree lineages, and in the simulation, every person has a relational number in the simulation that gets modified based on actions and all this stuff as you go through the game. So in the tutorial, I have a vassal. So a vassal is someone that is ruler of a territory, but answers to me. But I don't have to manage it. But I still have to get along with him. And if I don't appoint him to my council, my small council, just like in Game of Thrones, you got your small, but don't have to appoint him to my council, he might get insulted by that. And but also, if I don't like him, maybe I can talk to one of his siblings or his children and, you know, convince them to kill him or something like that. Like, so it's this whole simulation of monarchs and emperors and controlling territory. Battle's fairly simple. It's not, you're not going, if you want a good war strategy or good war simulation, this isn't the place. It's like you collect levies, which is your peasants that you give weapons to, and then you can actually train knights in this. And, you know, you may declare war, but there are other ways to take power, which is to marry off your children and then inherit their land. I mean, like I said, I literally read 4 hours of tooltips and did the tutorial. So I have about as much sense of any game as just when you're in the starting gate. And I still feel like there's so many systems. There's like talent trees that you can. What's really interesting is they made it super flexible. So you can have, like, even though it's medieval times, you can have a totally like homosexual religion, for example, that's like anachronistic because that didn't happen. You'd be like, we believe in God, we believe in homosexual relationships, and we're matrilineal, which means power passes through the woman. Like, this game's very flexible in doesn't need to be historically accurate. It starts historically accurate, and then you can do whatever you want with the system. So that's really interesting too. And I think you can be Hitler in this game, or you can be Gandhi. You can do whatever you want. It's a sort of sandbox simulation of monarchies. So I am excited to play, but I haven't really started yet. I did the tutorial and it was cool. The only thing that it's missing, so far as I can tell, is that, you know, because I was watching Game of Thrones, I kind of want to hear some wicked ass dialogue and text and stuff, right? You know, I want to hear winter is coming, you know. Although the houses do all have words, so that is kind of in there. But you know what I mean? Like,
there's no fantasy here, right? No fantasy, no dragons, no spells, no
fantasy. It's all medieval stuff. So yeah, it'd be fun if there's some fantasy elements to it. And there's there's just no dramatization, right? There's no like actual scripting and like dialogue and stuff like that. You know, it's a board game,
right?
But anyways, yeah, it's.
I need to play it. It's on Game Pass. There's no reason for me not to just try to. It's my focus and my attention level. I think it's like reading rules in a really complicated tabletop game. I hate those.
It's like, I feel like it's one of those things where it's rules heavy, but once you get it, there's a lot of fun to be had. But yes, this is a learning curve game. There's a gate
Gotcha.
at the front. So,
all right.
I may stream it. Maybe I'll clip out a highlight or two that looks like fun, and that might just make for some good stories. I'm interested.
Yeah, I would watch that stream because I want to know. I want to watch someone I like play a game like this because it needs to be their cadence, not some dude on YouTube.
I think the goal of this game isn't to build the best factory in Factorio or Satisfactory, like, because you get those guys, right? Like how to be how to optimize, how to engineer. And it's not like Civ where it's like you got to try to win. This game is not about winning. It's not about optimizing. It's literally about I tried to have sex with my sister and she turned me down, so I got in a jealous fit. I killed her lover, and then I married her off to some asshole across the world. You're just like it's meant to be like that's funny or whatever. Like it's just meant to be like just fun in medieval context. Like maybe you want to be a cruel emperor. I crushed all my enemies. I was really nice to a guy, and then he made a pass at someone in my court, and I decided I didn't like. What kind of ruler do you want to be? And I think you also do like breeding. So like if one ruler, like one hair has like, good genes, there's traits, and you can breed them with someone else, and you can make the monarch you want through inbreeding, selective breeding of rulers. Like that whole world of few hundred years ago is what this is a game of.
Interesting.
And so I think it's about having, so even though it's like, I'm worried about all the rules, this one is more like, just have fun. Like there's a funny story that's coming out of the experience. Just have some fun with it. It's not really about winning or anything like
There's a reason that game is listed in PC Gamer's 100 best video games to play like right now. It's
IGN gave it a 10
or 3. Yeah, they gave it a
CK3. They gave it a 10, which is rare for IGN even. And I watched that's what helped convince me. I was like, they gave it a 10. Like there's. I think it really is because this game's designed to be fun, where most games that look like this are designed to be study, and optimization path. So
I think you're right.
Now I definitely want to play. I'll report back on it. I'm excited.
You've given me hope in penetrating this video game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to emails and texts. What did I just say? Weird. Okay, first this.
That's a good question.
Now I'll explain myself. We get emails already. talktothecore@gmail.com. Keep those coming. If that's your preferred method of communication, no problem. We'll do it. If you would like to, just like you're on the bus and you're like, I got a quick question for those guys. I just want to text them. You can do it. Just put this number in your phone. Costs you nothing. It's just a number I own. 801-471-0462. That's 801-471-0462. If you send a text to that number, if you want your name read, you have to tell me who you are because I don't get any of that information. And by the way, none of this information is like usable or I don't save it. It's just a text. So if you want to text me at that number, 801-471-0462, when you got a thought during the week or whatever, I'll be checking those before shows and reading them here. Let's start with the email from Mace Grimm. Sounds like a character on Game of Thrones. Anyway, his real name is Mason. It says, hey, Core Hounds, the conversation around Overwatch 2 is me reminiscing about the good old days of gaming, where we didn't feel the need for metagame rewards and played strictly thanks to gameplay. Most of the conversations around Overwatch 2 are, the gameplay is great, but I don't like the battle pass, so I probably won't play, which seems odd to me, says Mace Grimm. He says, I'll agree that the preeminent battle pass game, Fortnite, has a much better cadre of skins and value within their battle pass. But I've been enjoying Overwatch 2, even without getting the battle pass. I don't intend to be competitive or anything. It's just a great way to blow off some steam. It's probably not right or wrong to have a good or bad battle pass opinion in your mind when you're choosing your game for the evening, but it has me thinking about the changing landscapes for what we want out of our games. What do you all think about this general idea? P.S. Core helped me get a good college education. 4-year education is how long it took him, as long as we've been doing the show. That's weird.
Wow, that's crazy.
So just wanted to say thanks and highlight the longevity of your amazing show. All my best, Mace. Well, that's awesome, by the way. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Glad we were there for you.
4 years than I did, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's just cool to know the show. I always love hearing when the show accompanies people in their huge life things. So always let us know about that. To address the issue or your comments, I felt a little bit of that as well this week, enjoying the gameplay so much that for the first time in a while, I'm not thinking about monetization or opening the next thing. With loot boxes, it was like, I got to open it now. Oh, shoot, a new match is starting. I can't even open my own loot box. Like, there was always this feeling of like, oh, I missed something. This game doesn't feel quite like that. The game is more like, all right, good match. Let's go again. Oh, we lost. It's okay. Let's dust ourselves off and play some more. Like, I feel like Quake and the original TF2 mod days, or, you know, that era of gaming, there was no progression. There was none of these things. I'm not saying those aren't great. They are. I'm just saying I've been playing that game for the purity of playing it. And that I must not be alone, because it sounds like that's what you're describing. Everybody's going to come to it differently, though. So I can't prescribe this to anybody. But the fun factor in Overwatch right now, the fun factor John's finding in Fortnite, I do think we all want that first. All this other stuff sometimes gets in the way of the conversation. But really, we just, you know, if there's no fun, then what are we doing?
And I think that that's a good metric with which to judge bad monetization and bad battle passes.
Right.
Is the battle pass getting in the way of that experience? Like, if you want to talk about the most egregious mobile things, the stuff I genuinely hate, that I think is a true detriment to gaming, it's the stuff where it's like, oh, are you enjoying the game? Well, give us more money and we'll let you play more. Like, you know, because at the end of the day, it really should just be about, like, I want to play the game. I want to have fun. And all this other stuff is just extra and nice.
Right.
And if your game allows that to happen, it kind of doesn't matter what the monetization model is. If you just want to sit down and play a fun game with friends and the game allows you to do that, then the other stuff doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, because it's not really in your way. If you're like, hey, we should have a big 5-person Overwatch team get together tonight, you can do that with so little barrier. There's just no reason not to. If you have a computer,
but if a barrier exists, if that is there, if there is something that goes, well, Scott, how much battle energy did you use?
Right.
If you're drained on battle energy, you can't play another match of Overwatch 2.
Right.
Well, okay, now we have discovered a problem.
Yeah,
you know? Or
I
if
agree.
you're just playing it because, like, well, I got the battle pass, I got to play it. Like, then you've discovered the other side of the problem, right?
Yeah. That it wasn't good as the money you spent on it. Now you're only playing it because it's a job, or because you paid for a thing. I agree. Well, anyway, I have found the last week or so to be refreshing in that regard, in my time in there. And I hope that's what he's having. Sounds like it is. All right, now we get to these texts, and they have their own little thing. I don't know why I did all this week. I blame the pills. Here you go. There you go. It's like a text. You hear that?
Nice. I like it. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
First one from Cyrenex. It says, last week, John mentioned the Fortnite Battle Pass, and I wanted to bring up one detail I think was missing that I personally think makes Fortnite have one of the best Battle Pass models out there. You can earn more and earn more than enough currency in the premium battle pass to buy another premium battle pass. That means with a little discipline and playtime, you only need to pay out of pocket for the first pass you get. Love the show, guys. If you need a good decoy in Overwatch, I'm really good at taking bullets to the face, says Cyrenex. Probably a tank.
That's a good point. And that's what we told the kids, because they were getting excited about it. We wanted them to be excited, and there was a lot of like, oh, I wish I could have that skin, but we want to find a way to help teach them moderation and being responsible and saving, even if it's a digital currency. So what we told them is, we are going to buy you your first battle pass. You can get enough currency to buy the next one when it comes out. If you save, we are not going to buy you the second battle pass. Yeah. That's what we told them. Yeah. We said, you can do whatever you want with those V-Bucks that you earn, but just so you know, the second one is not going to be purchased for you. So you are going to have to figure that out if you get there. And so far, it has encouraged them to both seek out getting that as a reward, so they'll be able to do that, and also hold on to it, which is, you know, a good skill.
It is. I agree. The only way that backfires on you is if they know they got to play so much to get the thing to pay over. It's a little like gold in WoW, or the gold ticket thing that you sell. It's a little like that. Like, on the one hand, like at one point, will you have to ask the question, do I want them spending all their waking moments in the game, but they're earning the next battle pass? Or would I rather them doing something that earned them $10 they could buy a battle pass with? So that's the tricky bit.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And I think, like, if they showed saving and they didn't play enough to earn it, But I will say it's not actually that hard to get through the battle pass. But they're also kids, so I went in with a metagaming mindset. I was like, all right, what are the quests? What's the quickest and easiest way? They're just playing to have fun. They're not doing the garbage I'm doing.
Yeah.
If they are showing the skill of restraint and doing good, I would buy them a battle pass a second time if they didn't quite make it.
Yeah, that's the other thing
get
parents
them
do.
The difference.
We lay down rules, and then we get a little soft toward the end, not in a bad way, but like in a sort of, you want to reward them, right? Because they tried really hard.
If you showed the initiative and you showed the effort, and you did a good job, like, we'll reward that. Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome to Dads in Gaming.
Yes, they don't need to be on Fortnite all the time. One of them, I think, will hit it no matter what. He's on Fortnite.
Let's do a Dads in Gaming seminar and charge $50 per ticket.
Please, let's. I need money.
Let's do it.
I want to buy the next battle pass. I didn't have the restraint they did.
I love that idea.
I gotta get some money.
All right, couple of very fast ones here. We got one from Shanafan who says, Scott, you talk about great games to play on the Steam Deck. My question is, what plays like shit on the Steam Deck? So a game that says it plays well on there, like in their certification, that plays absolute garbage on there, just needs to be optimized, is Deus Ex. I mentioned it earlier. The newer game, Human or Mankind Divided. Is that it? Whatever it is. The newer Deus Ex game runs like crap, and I don't know why. There's no good reason other than they haven't updated it in years, so why would they? Just, it's probably some small thing they could do, but they're not going to do it. That's my only complaint of any games that run really poopy. There are some that just plain won't run, but most games, even if they have some, they'll warn you about one or two items, they'll run fine. Maybe the text is a little small and they haven't scaled or give you a scale UI option or something. But for the most part, everything you throw out, it's pretty good. But hey, Deus Ex, hey, whoever owns all that stuff that Square sold, could you fix that? Let me know. Final text came in from Albert, aka Mayor McCheese. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's Mayor McCheese.
It's Mayor McCheese. We finally know his real name.
Yeah.
Albert McCheese.
Does Grimace still live in your basement? Anyway, here's what he says. He's in Maryland. Why no Silent Hill 1? I assume he means why didn't they do that, remake that? I think 2.
People care about 2.
2 is an iterative classic. 1 is important because it needed to exist, but it's not near the game that 2 was, which I didn't play all the way. I played some of it, and I had to leave 1 because it scared me. But from what I can tell, it's the superior story. It was a PS2 showcase in a lot of ways. Like, that's the game. 1's important from just historical perspectives, but it's the same reason, like, I don't know. You can't compare Super Mario 1. It's a classic. It's amazing. It's incredible. Super Mario Brothers, that is. But if you play 3... you're going to play a game that is superior to it in almost every way. That's how that works. I'd rather have 3 remade than 1, but I still have fond feelings for it.
No,
anyway.
At this point, I think we're so far away from those old Mario games. If you're going to remake them, go ahead and remake them.
Yeah, do them proper. There's GBA versions of the remakes of 2, 3. I forgot the other one.
There's even that Super Nintendo version, Super Mario All-Star, where they upgraded the sprites.
Yeah, those are
games.
Great. Those are great.
Yeah.
My favorite GBA, one of my favorite GBA games, probably top 3, is actually a remake of an NES game. The original Kirby game, they redid for GBA, an all new 16-bit, parallax scrolling, all that. So much better of a game. It looks amazing. Plays just as great as the original did. It is the best Kirby game ever made. If you are inclined to emulate it, I'm not going to stop you. Okay. You do you. All right, that's it for those texts. If you'd like to send your text into the show, 801-471-0462, or you can send us a traditional, good old-fashioned email, talktothecore@gmail.com.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was great. We should probably... Oh, thank you, honey. Where'd you go? Sorry, burrito delivery. This sounds great. I'm going to devour these in a minute when I'm done.
That does sound great. I want a burrito.
You're the best. All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
I want a burrito,
I'll pay you
too.
back somehow.
I am sad.
Can you send burritos to John and Bo? Absolutely. Okay, it's on their way. It's not happening.
I'll pay for the shipping.
You got what's the burrito situation in Canada? Anything good up there?
Oh yeah, I got some burrito. There's a burrito gringo that I can get.
And it's good?
a burrito from.
I don't. What does that mean?
Well, no, they're in Canada. You're far away from Mexico. I don't know.
So I'm not sure. Like, definitely your poutines you probably get down there probably aren't right. So I'm imagining the burritos I'm getting up here are not quite. You guys are more closer to burrito territory, I think. So
burrito territory.
As far as I can tell, they're tasty. But am I getting? There's that in Breaking Bad, in the first season where Chuco's making a burrito for
Salamanca.
And I'm like, that looks delicious. It looks nothing like the burritos I have. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I'd take a Tuco burrito. I don't want anything else to do with his life, but I'll take a burrito.
It looks like he makes a mean burrito.
Yeah.
I'm
He
like,
does,
so when I order them, I'm
does a
like, well,
good
these
job, yeah.
burritos don't look that amazing. Also, yours are homemade. They're probably better because it's with ingredients that your wife is making. It's like good.
Yeah. Do you think Hector Salamanca ever pooped?
I'm gonna start. I had a plan to start making my own homemade shawarmas myself because I eat them enough. But I'm like, they don't. I like more vegetables in mine. They always pack it. Place to order to pack it full of meat. Like I like meat, but like it's like a brick of meat sometimes. And I'm like, I want more vegetables. And there's vegetables they never put in that I want in mine. So I'm like, I'm gonna start get pita. It's just vegetables rolled up in a pita. Like I can do it. So I'm gonna start.
Shawarma rules, man. That's not just a great stinger for a Marvel movie. It's fantastic food.
No, it's delicious.
Yeah, I could eat that
we
every day.
have lots of shawarma places in Ottawa. It's kind of crazy.
True that. All right, we're gonna move on to. Oh, hey, thanks for everybody for supporting us on Core. We got some new patrons to mention. I'm gonna
thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna mention these guys because they're great.
Sorry.
A couple of these I may have mentioned already. If I have, I apologize. But we got Luis Loyo, we got Joaquin Wilkman, Bryce McDonald, and Adrian.
Adrian.
Yeah.
Yep. Finally, Rocky's estranged wife has bellied up to the bar and become a patron here on Core. If you'd like to be a patron as well, go to patreon.com/Core Show. You'll never get a commercial ever again of any kind. No ads. You get free pre-show and end-show content tacked on every single week, and their monthly benefits you can't get anywhere else. So please check it out at patreon.com/Core Show. Our wallets, banks, and debts. Thank you. I think that's going to do it. We should probably have the.
We got to work on a VR chat party. I'm still committed to this.
I'm ready. Let's do it. I got a headset.
Party and VR chat.
You know what? I still think we should. If anyone who doesn't have the headset, fine. Do the 2D one. It's free. Just do it.
Do the 2D one. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But if you have a headset, we could have a lot of fun in there. I agree with you.
We do an hour, with some music, make an event out of it.
Let's do a big Core thing. No humping or whatever they call it in there. What's it called?
No humping.
It's not just humping. It's
ERP. Erotic role play.
There you go. None of that.
Only with consent and not in public places.
Yeah.
You'll be booted.
And then all of you at once do it to John. All at once.
Oh boy.
Can you imagine? 15, 20 anime
it would just
avatars.
be a bunch of people that be like, I slowly start unbuttoning my top, and there's like a bunch of messages all at once, and I'd just be like, cool.
Yeah, but in VR, it does feel more harassing because of the 3D space, and somebody puts their face in yours, and they're like,
Yeah,
but I'd probably be on a
dress today?
flat panel monitor, so it would just be like watching a bunch of weirdos stick their face in my
exactly.
screen.
On flat screen, it'd probably be less. I'm just saying.
Sure. Did I tell you that I finally found my Overwatch? Not my Overwatch, sorry. I found my ASMR. I've always said ASMR doesn't work on me. I hear it and I don't hear anything. Everyone else
the Marvel stat music?
No, but they're always like, it's tingling in the back of my brain and all this. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I found it.
Yeah.
It's in Overwatch. And it was always there, and I just didn't know it. But it's this line, or some of these lines. Listen to this. Whoops. Shit. Okay, here we go. Okay, hold on. Not that. Here we go. No. She's not doing it. Hold on.
Did you eat Ganymede's bird feed again?
Here we go.
He asks whether it's still called bird feed. If a hamster eats it.
That guy. Whoever's doing that goes right to my spine.
That processing is pretty neat. I wonder how they do that voice. I would like to replicate it.
Good. I don't know how. If they could, people could.
Because that's a normal person speaking, and it's processed in some way.
Oh yeah, for
echo.
sure.
I think there's like
it's modulated for sure.
There's definitely some echo. Can you play another one?
Yeah, let me see here. Get a hold.
That's a shame. I'll be giving these cookies I made to teammates who deserve them.
Shut up, Brigitte.
Translation failure. Profanity database error.
You've got.
I can't get enough of that. I'm not kidding. I got chills just now. Is that weird?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So you get ASMR chills from that?
Yeah. That
voice?
voice. Yeah. The squeaky, who
Does
cares?
it trigger something from childhood or something like that?
I don't know. I just
When
love it. I love it
robot
deep.
Came and rocked you to sleep.
I just love it deep. Like, I don't know. I want on my books.
Yeah, is it
like
the
that.
robotic quality or the deepness of the voice? Like the unnatural deepness?
Probably-
It's just like very. The EQ on that is like low ends are pretty.
Yeah, definitely low.
Pretty high.
I don't know. Just whatever it is, I love it, and I'm gonna go make a compilation of it because I'm weird. All right, let's get old lady Jagger over there, the grandma in the corner who hasn't said anything this entire episode. Tell us what we played today, so we can send folks home with the right
And
ideas.
sometimes people don't remember the games that got discussed on the show. They get too distracted by other things, and I don't know why, but I got a sharp mind, and I'll tell you what we talked about. If you're curious what games all three of them played, yeah, sure, it was Dark Tide and Marvel Snap. If you're curious what game only 2 of them played, it was Overwatch 2. And if you're curious what kinds of games will get Scott to play a scary game, it was the Mortuary Assistant because it's chorecore and he likes to work. Also, as you just heard before my segment, Scott's aroused by robots, so it's not a surprise he played Nier Automata, a game with very horny robots. And then he also played Vampire Survivors 1.0. John played Fortnite.
Yeah.
Bo played Crusader Kings 3, the tutorial. He didn't actually play the game, but he's thinking about it, and he seems really